This week on Mob Rules.
Oh, shit. We talk about everything we've been up to.
Which was a lot.
It was a lot.
was a lot, yeah.
And we also talk about Stormcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
The Stormcast dynasty of the Satan of Carl for Satan. All that
And so much more
on Mob Rules. Satan. Welcome to Mob Rules with now with 30% more setup.
Yeah.
This is like a set for
Just a little bit behind the scenes in preparation for the upcoming Sigmar and Chill that we're going to be filming, so that we don't talk about nothing but Age of Sigmar on this.
Right.
Mob Rules. I set up kind of our video setup today to kind of see.
Did you?
Yeah. See,
Oh.
you didn't notice the lights in the camera?
Is that what that is?
Yeah. You're like, I just thought you got really shitty lights for your living room.
I thought we got here at the time of boudoir photo shoot for yourself, for the wife, you know.
Well, you didn't come with erect nipples, Dave.
You're ready for it.
Still
I think I'm going to
erect.
get a white seersucker shirt if I'm going to be in this chair.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure I like this chair over here, though.
Why?
Why's that?
Well, because when I was over there with the mic stand and laying down, it was better.
Oh, yeah. You had a whole couch or love seat to yourself.
Well, you know, we can look at getting another mic.
Why don't you just look at another couch?
Well,
You know what I
I feel
thought
the
about
mic
doing
stand
was
would
I
a new
almost-
mic stand would be more cost effective than
Oh,
another
yeah.
couch. And more space effective.
We could do
as
the
well.
double-decker couch from the Lego movie.
Oh man.
Oh.
I almost
I'm
brought
pretty sure
over
that's copyright.
the wireless mic to see if it worked on the setup.
I had a hard time with lapel mics. I don't know, the wireless one might be fine,
Yeah.
but the lapels had an issue. But anyway,
Yeah,
great.
Well, this is really exciting. I am John.
Hey,
joined,
John.
Joined, of course, by
Me, Ted.
Ted
guys.
and,
And me, Dave.
Dave.
Hey,
yeah.
Dave.
We're back for more Warhammer 40,000 fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What you guys been up to? It's been it's been like a hectic rules week, or not rules week, but
Rules week?
release week, I should say.
Has it?
So
It seemed like for everything not 40K. 40K has been on hiatus. But,
the
They gotta take a
new
break sometime. My wallet needs to rest.
the
but you
baby
guys
nights.
had a wallet cruncher, right?
Oh yeah,
Well,
well, yeah,
no,
I did,
kind of,
yeah. When you
No,
get
no,
into
yeah,
a new
okay.
game system,
Yeah.
it's expensive. But the new Forge Wake, or the new box set coming out with the Admech with the baby knights versus the Necrons.
Isn't it? It's Forge World, isn't it?
No, Forge.
No, Forge.
I'd pull out my phone and Google it, but
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to right
Fuck,
now.
I don't know. It's
Like-
Forge something, but
Yeah. Forge
it's-
War, Forge End.
yeah,
Forge.
it's two large size versions of the robots from Portal.
Yeah.
Right.
From Portal 2 and some Necrons to fight against. But it's another really good looking set. It's like, Jesus, okay.
It's a
Is
good-
that supposed to be
great
another
value.
starter set, right? It's the
Yeah.
equivalent
Yeah.
of Dark Imperium.
Yeah, but with way less brand new sculpts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They have the new Necron Lord, right?
you're going to be
And,
less than
yeah.
100% generally.
Yeah.
That's true.
So what is it going to come with the main rule book, or is it just going to be like the flip sheet? Do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a really good question. I do know that whatever they price at it, if it's cost the same as Dark Imperium, then it'll be a complete value. Because I imagine that the Knight Armiger or the Knight Light, as people have been calling it, is
my first night.
first Knight.
Sony, my first night.
My little nighty.
My
first night.
Forge Bane. It's called Forge Bane.
Forge Bane. Nice.
We have video proof that I cheat and look things up on my iPad.
This was a great idea, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh yeah. No, my precious secrets. But yeah, so it comes with the 2 knights, a little unit of Skitari, and a really rad tech priest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is like, well, shit. The tech priest and the guys alone are like $90.
Oh
Yeah, and
wow.
the
Good
knights,
point.
you know,
Because
are
the
gonna be
tech priest is
60
like
each originally.
You think
40.
60?
I think 60 because a regular knight is 130. Right?
They look to be.
do they still have
size.
the older knight? Because if you do the full kitted out, it's like 167 or something like that.
Well, yeah, the
So,
super knight.
but then
No.
it's like upwards of the freaking Redemptor if it's 60, right? Isn't that
It's,
60?
I
Yeah,
imagine they'll be 60. So if you're
Okay.
getting two
It's
of them,
about
you're
the
already
size
I
of
can
the-
see it probably
yeah.
like Land Raider or Redemptor-ish somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's what
Although
I'm
they have
saying.
been pricing things down, so maybe 60.
It comes with the core rules.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Flip sheet or the
little flip sheet.
Okay.
And then also, oh wait, that's a dinosaur. And then
What?
also
It comes
like
with
a
a
little.
dinosaur?
What?
I have
That's
a
awesome.
tab that
I
has
mean,
a
it does come with Necrons.
We're
They're
going
really
to talk
old.
about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
earlier,
old.
but I kind of really like that. We're like last week, we're like, hey, let's talk about Necrons.
Yeah.
And then
this
the
pops.
day we're going to record, they're like, Necrons, be on you.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I mean, you get the Necron stuff doesn't look that either the baby knights, my little knights,
Yeah.
which friendship is magic.
What?
It
They're,
looks like two.
Data is magic.
It looks like two related knights had sex and had an incest knight baby.
of.
Wow.
Because all the proportions are like really weird. It has like some mini limbs and some longer
Yeah.
limbs.
It just
It kind of looked like a warhound's pup in little ways, like the way.
yeah,
that
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't like
change
that
the head out, it
The,
looked
the
cool.
head is kind of like at
The head is a
tummy.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot for me.
Uh-huh.
You know, I would have liked it to have been a little bit higher up on the torso, but you know, I'm not gonna
Why
complain when
ask
I
them
buy
to
the box
change
set.
it?
I tried.
I think
okay.
as, if I
They
don't
said,
see
"Shut up and buy more
someone,
painting handles, Dave." I was like, "Okay."
if I don't see someone painting like or modeling like three of them suckling at the teats of a larger knight,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah,
in
because
this community.
that's like a $250 investment for a one-time thing. you'll
Somebody will
never
do
use.
it.
Yeah,
Somebody
Someone
will
will do it.
Hopefully, his name's Ted.
No,
So just
Yeah,
just
right.
everybody wire Ted $1.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody
Please.
who listens wires Ted $1. He will make that happen.
Yeah, if
Can I
everybody
have
wires
the
me $1, I'll have like $20. It'd be amazing.
I was like, shit, when did we get up to 20?
And I think it happened when Phil left.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch. Take that, Phil.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had.
Now, please listen, Phil, so we're up to 21.
Yeah.
So, Forgebane is coming soon. We had Eisenhorn released.
That was weird. And
Yeah,
That's,
the wonderful world of Finecast models.
That turned out to be not as bad as Finecast, though, right?
I think when they're doing
Was it Finecast?
It was Finecast.
Oh, okay.
Well, but when they're doing it on kind of like a more limited run,
Mhm.
I find they're better than when they're just like mass produced. And I think that maybe that's just like a quality control thing, because when you're making Howling Banshees, you're like, well, shit, Howling Banshees,
Yeah.
7,000 Howling Banshees, get them out everywhere.
I think part of it is like when they do the smaller numbers, what they do is they have like all the CEOs, like great grandmas, come over and pack each individual model with resin lovingly, like little pies.
I read the story completely unrelated to anything to do with 40K, but there's
Yeah.
a restaurant in New York City.
Okay.
Where
What?
the chef? I know, right?
It's not possible.
End of story.
Yeah.
But they don't have any chefs for permanently on staff.
Whoa.
They just get random grandmas from around the
Oh,
world
sick.
come and make food. So like,
I've seen a porn like
kinda
that.
is it Swedish grandma? Is it like Swedish grandma night? Because I want meatballs. I saw that porn too.
What was that?
What? Huh?
I'll show you the internet one of these days, Dave.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a thing? I don't
You're
know.
gonna come out with a very muscular right arm.
Are you kidding? I'm ambidextrous, baby.
Crusher of worlds.
Alternate.
But yeah, aside from that, did you guys vote to name the Warhammer Cafe?
I didn't. I figured I'd probably not be able to
I
make
didn't
it
like
to
any
one.
of their options. And I don't remember what I put now because it was too long. You know, that was like what? Almost recording the last time we recorded
Yeah.
Like it came
They'd
out on
asked
Friday.
for a name. I said Warhammer World 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Did you really?
I did.
God, I hope that happens. But
I mean, I don't think it will.
you know what we should have done was say like Bodie McBoat, whatever, or Cafe McCafe.
Yeah, Cafe McCafe.
Cafe McCup.
And then it would have worked.
Oh, no, I said the Phalanx. That was my
Oh.
serious suggestion.
Oh, that's good.
But then every one of their suggestions had the word Warhammer in there somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, branding, I guess it's. But now I
That
have
was
to
their
open up a rival cafe
Mm.
called Phalanx, and then
That's
get
tough.
sued for IP infringement.
I think they should have followed the Disney
Use an
marketing
F.
strategy. You know, because they have Warhammer World, which is like Disneyland.
Uh-huh.
So and the next
So
thing
they're
that
going to have
Disney opened-
Warhammer World Paris, and it's going to be really disappointing.
No, that's the third one.
Oh, okay.
And also, all of our Parisian listeners are really angry at you now.
No, they know it's disappointing. It's
No, they'll be
Oh.
sad. No, they're just hoping it won't be disappointing when they do open one there. No, they should
see.
have like
if Ted gets us out
Warhammer
at like
Center.
noon on a Friday, by that point it's
What?
like 9 p.m. What was it? If you were to get this out at noon
Okay.
on Friday and release this, not saying that that's what you have to do, but
We're
by
actually
that,
recording on time. We might.
but that by that time it's like 9 p.m. 10 p.m. on a
Yeah.
Friday night in France,
Okay.
so they'll all be drunk.
Oh.
So just to be clear, I'm calling all French listeners alcoholics with a bad Disneyland.
That's
Tell your friends about our podcast now.
what
I think
I think you're missing out on the whole coffee thing there, though, right? Isn't that
no,
no
I don't think I
cafes where they sit there and they just sip lattes and spit on Americans? Man, I can't wait to go to Paris. It's gonna be so good.
Oh man, I did
By the
have
way, I'll
fun.
be in
I did have
Paris
fun in
in
Paris.
May.
It was really good.
Oh wow, yeah, that's right. You're gonna make it over there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, I decided I was gonna save money to go on a better trip to my home on Scotland next year, and then immediately spent all of the money on wrestling tickets.
Oh shit.
So
you're foregoing the Scott trip, huh?
no Scotland trip this year.
Oh wow.
Just because I couldn't figure it out where I could get the kids to go to without it being like $10,000 in tickets.
Jesus Christ.
So I was
That's
like,
French for the Christ,
yeah.
by the way.
Well, we gotta appease the French listeners
Yeah.
now.
Have you tried taking a 12-day boat cruise over there?
So surprisingly, when I only
Gilligan's
have
Island or something like that.
when I only have 2 weeks of leave, I don't want to spend 24 days sailing
man.
back and forth.
All right,
God,
so
if only Zeppelins were a thing.
you convince the
High-speed
parents
Zeppelins?
to fly and meet you in New York, and then you guys take the boat across. You get to spend all the time you want with your parents. Plus, then you can go to
Oh.
Scotland afterwards.
I thought you said Paris. Like,
Parents.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
have-
convince all of Paris to fly across and take the boat.
My parents do not want to be on a boat with me for 12 days.
They don't even want. They
They
don't even
don't
want
even
you
want to be in
spending.
the same country.
Wow.
Mass snowstorms in this UK
Uh-huh.
shut down Warhammer TV last week.
Yeah, crushing
What?
to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Literally, it's
Because
all
it
I
was
live
really
for
bad.
anymore.
Wow.
Which is the only thing I don't like is everyone like, oh, it's like, well, 5 inches of snow, blah, 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 you guys are blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah, if you're not set up as an infrastructure to deal with snow,
Yeah.
when it comes, it sucks.
I mean, even in Alaska, where we have a little bit of snow, like the first snowfall fucks everybody up.
Oh yeah, I think we had
Well,
like
that whole 5 inches of snow they got. We I think didn't we get like a foot and a half over that time period?
yeah, and we had 70 accidents in
Yeah,
2
but
hours.
those people deserve to die unless they were our listeners. In which case, get well
dead.
soon.
Wow.
Whoa!
Well, that's just 70 less people that inconvenience me to
Yikes.
drive to work.
I don't know. When I moved to Portland, like they only got like snow once every 5 years, and like the one time they got snow while I was there, like I made sure to ride the bus because I was afraid of everybody else. Like, it's a thing. Like
When I lived
not
in
used to it.
Spokane, like snow happened, and like Spokane is like San Francisco bullet style hills
oh
everywhere.
shit, really?
And yeah,
Oh,
people
yeah.
would like start at the top of the hill and they hit the brake, and you just see cars sliding down
Oh.
sideways and everything. So yeah,
Wow.
it's totally understandable. I'm sure they're gonna double up the bat wraps and leaks this week to make up for it, right? You know,
Yeah.
Naturally.
get that out there.
Yeah.
Dave, you released a little video.
Yeah.
You've now 100% increased my output from this year. Good job.
I was driving, and you know what? I set a goal for myself to get 100 views, and I'm at 109 or 110.
So
You're
you
11.
failed.
You're
Nope.
up there.
I am there. I've got
No, you
That's
failed. You set your goal for exactly 100 views.
Oh, yeah.
You surpassed that. That is
It's kind of
failing.
like Trivial Pursuit, where you need to get exactly enough to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Where
I'd
set
only
accurate
rolled a
goals. You
5.
should
I'd have been good.
You should have more than 100 views as your goals.
That
Equal
was-
to or more
oh.
than.
So what
Linguistics.
is your video about? Because obviously everyone who listens to us, obviously goes to our YouTube
Well,
channel.
plus 80
subscribes.
extra people. It sounds like.
They just let it run on repeat, and what they don't know is we've set up the playlist, so it just plays the same video over and over again.
Well, I go to the computer lab at school, and I just like set it up on each and every.
I think it only calculates
in
each
stereo.
individual IP, however, because I've watched it like 100 times myself, and it never went up on the tracker. Same thing goes for our actual videos, because I set those on repeat.
That's
you know,
ridiculous.
turn
I
out-
listened to our
library, man.
podcast 20 times, and apparently Ted knows that I listened to it there because he said we got 21 listeners. 20 are me and Ted's mom.
So
Oh,
damn.
Fucked up.
that is
Don.
fucked up.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, like when you finish saying something, you're like, wait,
Yeah.
something's not right.
You
there.
know she can't type.
Oh god. Boo.
I'm
Dave, what if-
Ouija's pretty good. The Ouija board.
What? Jesus Christ.
We're off track.
going.
So
What have
hey,
you
I
been
made
up
a
to?
I
What
made a
have you been
video,
up to?
guys.
Yeah, you did.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time making it. I
You know,
sat
it's
down
currently
with
sitting at 10% of likes. It's currently got 3
Oh.
comments. Yeah, it's got 11 likes, no dislikes.
That's
Three
better than my
comments, I
Skaven
think-
one so
I think-
far.
one was
Is yours.
Nick Beers, the IDIC,
Oh, yeah.
IDC, IDIC. DK was like, "Hey, it looks good. I think."
And
I
then
think
one
it's
was
great."
mine, and one
And then
was
Ted
yours.
responded, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't.
I like that
respond.
he razzed you about your bolter holes.
Yeah. Well, because they're my bane of existence.
But he's paying attention to you. He likes you.
Yeah.
He's picking on that girl that he wants to bone on the playground.
I have massively fucked up, by the way.
Why?
Well, because
how this time?
I joined this
Specifically,
podcast. So
excuse you, sir.
So the
It's a
prime.
video cast now?
I'm sorry. I joined a video cast apparently. So the rest of my Primaris, none of them have drilled bolter holes because I was in a hurry when I made them in the first place and started painting them. I know that I'm gonna have to now.
I can illustrate you how to drill a
Can
bolter
you?
hole if you like.
Yeah, I'm good. I've seen your bolter holes; they're off center.
I actually think
Balls are upside
after all of the shit we're
They
giving
are.
you,
Look at
you
where I'm
should-
sitting.
You should do a how to drill a bolter hole.
That would not
Why
be a
are
bad
you
idea.
why are you spoiling
That'd
my
be-
tabletop?
I actually
plus,
found like
topics.
Oh,
Because
Spoiler alert.
have less obvious topics.
yeah. Have you tried like the what is it, like the thumbtack in the middle of the bolter and then drill from there?
So what
no,
I
that's
do,
probably ingenious. Holy shit!
Try
I
it,
got to get you on my tabletop.
so
tactics.
what
I never
do
do it, but I've done it. I've done it
like what
once
I
or
do
twice.
for drilling is I take like because I always have like a super sharp pointy hobby knife and I'll put like a little dot
Oh,
in the
that's
center.
good.
And then I'll pin vise off of that because otherwise, like,
Yeah.
because I'm like super soft and generally I'll just use drill bits. Like I
Oh,
barely
yeah.
even use like a pin vise.
That's a good idea.
And then I
just
just like
pulls out a DeWalt.
That's
I have
exactly
done that.
what I do.
I know you do.
every
I've seen
single
it.
time.
I have done that.
Well,
You got
there?
that? You got
Is
a
that why
hobby? You got the hobby drill. You showed it to me. The little
No.
Hobby
mechanic.
drill.
Isn't
No,
it the,
I have
the powered
used
one.
a
No,
DeWalt power drill.
That's what I use too.
to
Typically,
magnetize my Leviathan, and there is no more freeing and terrifying feeling than taking a power drill to like $120 of resin
Yeah.
and be like, "Don't fuck up,
You know what?
don't fuck up."
Next time
I've
you
actually
wanna
drilled my
magnetize
finger a
something,
few
can I
times
try?
because of that. I'm like, it's in my finger.
But the model's fine. My finger's replaceable.
I don't have to spend money on blood for the blood god. Wipe. It's just like poo. It's not blood.
Oh man.
But yeah, you were saying before we got really interrupted.
So tabletop plus
Plus,
with the question mark because it's kind of a play on words because I'm not.
Could the question mark be in brackets?
It could be, but I'm not going to change the title screen now. It took me at least 5 minutes to make that thing.
we should have given you the typeface that you're supposed to use for our branding campaign.
Yeah.
That was something I would have loved to.
Ted's
have
worked
known
very
about.
Had you
hard
asked about
to brand our channel, and it doesn't work if both of us actively work against it. Only I can do that.
Well, I guess technically you got to use the right one now, John. I'm sorry, trumped.
Anyway,
So tabletop plus is basic hobby tips. It's because Ted, you're the master, right?
It's like LeVar Burton for
Right.
hobbying.
Except
What's Jordy LaForge got to do with this?
great. Now I've got to make myself a big old visor out of a. Do they even make those anymore? Those head, the hair things that
You get like
clamp shut?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
do
me
they
me
make
as a
those?
little tot, I took my mom's like hairband, just put that sucker
Oh,
right on
jeez.
over the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's
Perfect.
perfect.
It's the LeVar Burton look now.
Yeah,
And like these
awesome.
headphones have a hole so I can even see.
I was gonna say, hold on, let me check. Oh no, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
That's
I
solid.
don't have it either. Just
Shit, I broke my headphones.
now they're just your headset.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Mob rules now with
Perfect.
70% more visual jokes.
But my goal is to release one every other Monday. The Monday that isn't a regular Mob Rules week, so that there's something.
Yeah, we
with
gotta.
that.
You and I gotta sit down and talk about a schedule because I think like if we alternate, that would free me up too. So yeah, we gotta.
Okay, well we can do that.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, that's my goal is to have
Okay.
one for that.
All right.
Yeah.
to have them all ready before
Cool.
I leave for 3 weeks, so you can still
Okay.
release on schedule.
Well, I think like we're going to be seeing a lot more content coming up through YouTube this year. That's
Yeah.
essentially one of my goals for this year, even though it's like a quarter over already. We're going to definitely see some more stuff going up there. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you're bringing in with your tabletop plus.
I liked it. We bounced off a whole bunch of different ideas. Ted and I bounced back and forth. Ted really liked what's in Dave's box.
Only
love
if you
what's
could
in your
have like
box.
5 kids yelling, "What's in Dave's box?"
I can. My daughter brings over friends all the time. It would have been totally off key. It
I know,
would've
like
worked,
one of the kids has to be eating pudding. Yeah,
I really kind of wanted to do like a Mr. Rogers style video though, like the intro for every time where I just kind of come in and take off my jacket and put on a sweater and then I started doing dirty shit like making porn hiding
Oh.
references under my bed. I was like,
No,
well,
man.
maybe not. I
No.
can't do that.
Swear to God, if you were to do like Tabletop Plus in the style of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and you'd be like, let's drill a little bolter hole. It's a little off center, but that's okay. We'll just pretend it's like this.
That's
Next episode is going to be how to reconstruct your bolter with a plastic
It's a
art.
wonderful day for a Terminator. Wonderful day for a Terminator.
That was perfect. That should have.
Yeah.
Now that sounds
Collaborate,
to me
guys,
like
collaborate.
a John joint.
A little script.
Yeah.
I think I will do Mr. Gulliman's Neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I just need to figure out how
I wanted
to
to be
get a
in it
train
for a
to go
second
through
until
like
you
a
said
war.
that.
Oh yeah, because you
Well,
have the train going through like a war-torn battle zone, or just two really confused tournament players. Just have this train.
You gotta
driving
mod
around.
up. I'll pick up the Thomas the Tank Engine train.
I got like a Lego, one of the motorized Lego sets.
I was gonna say because
Oh.
the tank engine is like the heresy train thing. That's
Oh,
going
yeah,
on.
to
Give
make
that
it
to you.
a-
Let
okay.
you green stuff it up. All sorts of that terrible for this.
Oh man.
Get Isaac's
Oof.
Dreadnought.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. So you made your video. You got your commitment of doing every other Monday.
Yep.
Coming out with more Tabletop Plus
Yep.
hobby tips. I gotta say it that way because you put a question mark. in there.
That's why I wanted it because
Um,
it's I'm not quite tabletop plus.
No, you know
Yeah.
what? For me, my stuff looks good from 3 feet away. And if you're bending over to look at it closer, fuck you. Don't do that. That's not what it's designed for.
My stuff kind of looks good, fairly good up close. I finished the.
It does. Yeah, your stuff looks really nice up close.
I finished the Legion of Daves challenge.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
that
yeah,
ended up
I
really
saw
nice.
that. Yeah, that turned out super good.
I was really surprised.
It's a really
I know.
bizarre color scheme.
You know who else was surprised?
What?
Trevor.
I thought you were
Oh,
going to say
yeah?
Dave.
I was also surprised.
No,
but-
no, not Dave. Dave.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There were a lot of good painters involved in that. And there's still people painting them up. They're like, we want to get on the bandwagon. There's somebody, there was like pinup art done. Somebody also redid like the old Space Marine cover in the colors of
Oh,
the Legion
wow.
of Dave. I was just like,
I want to take an Alpha
the fuck
Legion
is
Trooper.
happening?
Crazy.
I want to do like an Alpha Legion Trooper, paint it up as Legion of Dave, and just call it John.
Jeez. Traitor. Well, my middle name is Dave.
Yeah. David was my grandfather's name, so I can be in your Legion too.
yeah, I'm in.
It's like those white kids from the suburbs. Like, I had a black friend. I understand. I knew a Dave.
No. Guys, it's cool. I can paint this. I know a Dave.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah, you painted up your guy for that challenge.
I did. There was no prize or anything. It was just for fun.
The
And,
prize is just competing.
It's actually, I think the prize is because I was getting burnt out on painting, to be honest.
Oh, sure.
And having these challenges has brought me back into wanting to be painting again. I'm enjoying doing something different and off the wall. And even though I didn't put chips and scratches on the model, which apparently would have been what took it over the edge to Masterclass.
It's true.
From Tabletop Plus. The
different from Tabletop Plus to Elite is just weathering.
yeah, apparently.
A piece of pluck sponge.
It's
Pluck foam.
And
It's like world master painters are like, shit, he almost found that out.
it was so close.
It's like
oh man, he
illusionist
is right
telling
there.
secrets. Like,
But yeah, I did that. I also picked up all of the Jack Skellingtons I need for the tournament this weekend.
Oh, we
for
don't
that
talk
other
about that.
system that we
Oh,
don't talk
okay.
about.
No, we got our own thing. We talk about that.
Yeah.
Keep your shit out of this.
Yeah, but we're recording after the tournament, so it's fine. And then this past weekend, I sat down with Cody and I worked on models, and he worked on models, painting his stuff up, and we got his one of his models to I'm doing the edge highlighting stage, which I don't know if you remember the first time you tried ever doing edge highlighting and you were shaking like a leaf on the wind. Not you. I was talking to John.
Okay.
Oh, I remember when
I know you shot out of the womb with a paintbrush and a fully masterclassed model, so it's fine.
On
I
Manville, of
tried
course.
edge
Really
highlighting.
painful for your mom.
It was a pluck sponge. Pluck foam.
I tried edge highlighting once, and then
mom-
I'm like, no, this is dumb.
Your mom was pissed that you had the Redemptor Dreadnought with you, and a bunch of twigs on the base. So
That
just
hurt my
straight-
uterus.
just shot out. But yeah, we did that.
This is a pap smear or a birth.
It's kind of interesting to see painting through somebody's eyes for the first time. Like sitting down with them. Like I think you got that with
and
Nick, right?
frustrating, yeah.
It is. It's because you don't want to tell them exactly what to do,
Well, you don't.
but at the same time, well, okay.
How are they going to get better if you
Yeah.
don't tell them exactly what to do?
I just had to leave the room a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta fart. I'm going outside.
Is he upset at me? Yes. But carry on.
Just you wanna encourage without ordering.
Demotivating.
Yeah. So he's asking questions and I'm answering them and then I'm shutting up. And except for in the edge highlighting, I was like, all right, so edge highlighting.
Don't do it.
We're gonna need
Here's
to do
the dry
this.
brush.
I put some I put the right color on his palette for him, and then I grabbed like 3.
Which was
one,
purple, right?
It was
Okay.
purple. No,
That is the right color.
Fenrisian gray, which is almost purple. If you in the gray scale. I mean, to you, it's all they're all gray.
It's all Fenrisian gray.
And then I watered it down like super thin. He's like, "That's too thin." I was like, "It's not. Trust me. Just get a little on your brush, twist it, and then touch your edges, and you're fine." He's like, "Wow, that's really easy." And I was like, "Yep. Now, if you need me, I'll be over here throwing more fucking sand into my pockets." And because I was basing
Pocket
models,
sand.
I was like, yeah.
Pockets.
I was basing models because I'm taking the cheap and
In your
easy route.
pocket.
No, I was just spilling fucking Citadel sand everywhere. I was just throwing it left and right. And of course, I had cats who were like,
You had Citadel sand?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at Mr. Moneybags over here.
Seriously?
Well,
Shit, I bought like a 50-pound bag of play sand for like $6.
I honestly, I was like, I don't even know where to buy sand. I'm just gonna buy this. So I did.
All right. We got. There's so much we have to talk going on here.
It's
Like,
fine.
They might literally have bags of sand.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not all of us worked at the the former store that you worked at.
Yeah,
okay?
but you
Now
have
he's got
friends and
bags
you
of
have no
coffee grounds.
excuse. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any friends. What are you talking about?
oh, yeah,
You have
good point.
acquaintances.
I've got people I do a mobcast with, and then I go home and sit on my bed by myself and cry.
And hide porn under it.
I'm an adult.
2018.
Porn,
he's-
I'm an adult. Porn sits on the nightstand proudly now.
It's called an iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I was throwing sand everywhere. It was great. It was good stuff. By the time I finished, I was like, I'm done. The cats are peeing on my feet because there's sand on my feet. And I'm like, this was
Jesus.
$12. It's not kitty litter. Stop. But anyway,
Jeez, $12.
Fuck, how much was it? I mean, like how much?
$12.50.
How much? Like
It's a tiny
mass?
container.
Is it?
it actually it was plenty of sand.
Is it
It's-
like a
I
little
still have plenty
sandwich,
of sand
You
like
know-
Tupperware?
yeah.
size?
I bought play sand 3 years ago. I still have plenty of sand.
It was like a 5-pound or 50-pound bag or whatever.
Yeah.
in it. Sand's not really common at this time of year, though.
No, it's
Unfortunately,
not. Because I think, yeah, ideally,
I'm gonna
like,
say,
like in the
My
springtime,
old
it'd
work,
be-
aisle 20. Year round.
Jesus.
Year round.
I'm good. I'm good because I don't usually base and before I base coat. This was a unique thing that I was doing. Normally, I try to do like Ted with different fancy bases. Although Ted bases first because he bought a 5-pound bag of sand a long time ago and has
No, I
tons of it
didn't.
just waste. I guess.
I go to the gutter with like the pasta strainer, and I put a bunch of shit in there from the gutter, and like that's what I get.
Well, I know something like we did, like or I did for us a couple of years ago was like I bought like some of my sand. I just put it in little bags and we sold it like for super cheap.
Oh my god! I remember when you were selling that, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't need fucking sand. That's stupid. Why would I ever want?
Why would I
sand?
pay $5 for sand? Oh, Citadel sand, $12. Yeah, I'll take that.
It's got the Citadel name on it. It's
We
fine.
had someone.
GW, please send us sand.
We had some. Please do not send us sand. I
Sand.
have
So much
drowning
sand.
in sand.
It's like a Dracula
but
thing,
there was
isn't it?
some-
Like
there
he's,
was one
like
of our
exporting his earth around so he can like come and live in our
There
house.
was like a local player who didn't realize that the tournament restrictions that we were at was that everything had to be based, and his night wasn't based. So he came bought sand with us, covered the base in super glue,
Jeez.
threw a shitload of sand on him, like based.
Wow.
Whatever, we made $5 off.
Nice.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah, nice.
Slap
Woo,
a Mongrel
capitalism.
sticker on it. It's you can sell it for $6.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So what else you been up to today?
That's it, man. I'm that's the extent of my hobby. I feel like I've actually been hobbying a lot, but when I look back at it, I go, maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that's a lot.
Huh.
That's a lot. Ted, what you been up to?
I was really hoping to get a game in with the Custodes against a Horde army, but
Oh,
that
yeah,
kind of fell
yeah.
through. So it's been a lot of hobbying because I finally figured out my orc list for the Old Hammer.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
coming up. When is Adepticon for you again? March.
like
March
2 weeks,
21st
right?
to
Oh,
the
3 weeks?
25th, I think. And I just got my plane ticket a couple days ago, and like I was kind of holding off on it, like, oh man, I'm so broke. I need to wait. And then they're like, wait, I have airline miles. Like,
Well, why do you
that's
think I
$30.
got my? Why do you think I got my LA wrestling trip?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I never actually used airline miles for anything. Like they just kind of sat there because I got like the Alaska airline frequent flyer thing like everybody else did, or the Club 49 thing, and then then I used Delta or whatever after that. Like it's like, oh, this is $30 cheaper. But yeah, so I got my tickets, so I'm really excited about that. I think I leave, I think Monday morning at 6 a.m. back to Alaska. And it goes from like, was it Chicago to Seattle to Juneau to Anchorage. Yeah, it's going to be a massive trip. It's like, oh man, this is going to be like every single like time I've gone to Adepticon, this will be the third time. Like I've had to sleep in the airport ahead of time, and they won't let you check in. And I think you can check in like 3 hours early or something like that.
On the way back or the way out?
Both ways.
Yeah,
because I've had like the
why
same thing.
Why do you need to sleep in the airport?
Because it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, like I've had the same thing where
do I want to pay for a hotel for that? No.
The airport or the hotel will check you out at like 10 a.m. and then the flight won't leave until like 6 or 7.
You're talking about coming back, not leaving out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about leaving
Well,
out. I was like, motherfucker, I'll drive you to the damn airport.
You live here, Ted. You have a bed here. Why are you sleeping there?
Technically, they won't let you check in early if you live here too. Just technically.
Just so you know.
Well,
just to let you know.
Yeah, but
the more you know.
I thought he was saying he was flying out.
Yeah.
Somehow I got confused.
Actually, the flight there I think is like a nonstop. It's really nice. But
yeah.
So anyway,
are you the kind of person like me who looks at flights and it's like, ooh, this one's $30 cheaper and it's only 4 more stops and 20 more hours of travel? Because I'm like that.
So here's the thing, like as an Alaskan who travels, like we're used to red eyes, right? Like it's just kind of like, what?
Our airport flies between midnight and 3 a.m.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want to pay like 3 times as much, you could fly out in the middle of the day. But like when I look at like other flights, like coming out of Chicago, like it was 8 a.m, 6 a.m. Like there wasn't an evening really. Like, yeah, it was really bizarre. So I was looking for that like midnight flight flying out like Sunday. Like, nope, no midnight flights flying out on Sunday. Like people in Chicago have a well-adjusted sleep schedule. Like,
bastards.
Chicago.
So I don't know. That was kind of it. But so I got the tickets. But I finalized my list for the
how many
Army.
How many pulsar rockets are you taking?
I'm only taking 1, and because I haven't used this list yet, I don't know if I'm actually going to get around to like.
Why even bother
testing it.
going?
But so let's see.
Yeah, why even bother going when you don't do multiple practice games for a 30-year-old game system no one plays anymore?
No, why even bother going if you're not going to have at least 6 pulsar rockets?
Yeah. So I'm taking a mech with shock attack gun.
Nice.
With 5 grot or snotling bases.
Because you had to buy your ammo for it back in the day, right?
Yeah. So like, and that's when I went to like Trevor, and I was like, "Hey man," or like I happened to mention like I need snotlings,
right. Yeah.
and Trevor sold me like a bag. It's like I mean, it looked like a small bag of sand.
Like
it was
a bag of sand,
big
yeah.
fucking bag. I didn't even count it, but literally probably 100 or so snotlings in there.
But I bet it didn't say Citadel on it, so it was way cheaper.
Yeah.
I bet the snotlings actually did if you pulled them out.
Oh, they're all GW. Yeah.
No,
sure.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is I bet the snotlings actually do say Citadel on them someplace.
No, not really. There's not enough room. Like a lot of them are just like
because they went on the square bases, right?
Yeah.
You just put like a shitload on there,
right? But it was fun, like going through there and like looking at them, like, and it's kind of weird, like thinking about like how they did things then versus like how they do them now. You know, like you buy a Pain Boy now. There's one plastic Pain Boy. He has no options. It's just that Pain Boy. It looks really well done. But then I was like looking back and like while I was getting those snotlings from Trevor, I was like, get some Pain Boys too, because I don't know, they're fun looking models, and like there's like 4 different sculpts, like, and like here was somebody who had like sculpting green stuff, 4 different models with missing 1 arm because you got a plastic arm. Yeah, and then I was like, there were a lot of options back then.
Well, it's because I think they had like one person who spent like a week green sculpting green stuff sculpting one guy, and then a week green stuff sculpting another guy.
Yeah,
and now it's like 3D AutoCAD design, and then making sure it breaks up into 17 intricate parts that hide mold lines and stuff like that.
But on the flip is like they have those files, so they could really easily like add and change things too. You know, like they could add like different heads or different weapons and stuff like that. But
oh man, I really dislike the new Pain Boy.
The one where
parts of me
he's
loves him, parts of me doesn't.
Where he's
the
like
weird claw,
the claw in there.
Yeah, what is that? There's
he's
a horror
looking
guy
lovingly.
like
he
that.
looks like he looks like a bald gremlin. It's my only issue. But
he
anyway.
does. You're right. He does.
He looks like a bald gremlin. It's the mouth. But anyway, so you're taking your shock attack gun. So you have 5 snotling bases.
Right. And this is like unfortunate because this is going to be the only time I'm ever going to use snotlings. You know?
You mean future nurglings?
Right. They're my rotten orcs. So then I'm going to take Badruck. And this is kind of like the weird thing. Like I was kind of thinking about like taking, like I have a battle wagon that's kind of like an old style battle wagon. And like, I could just, they had the little rule where you can like put it on as many guys as you want. And as long as nobody falls off, nobody takes damage. And but I was gonna take flash gits, so I have like 10 flash gits, and like the flash gits are so much bigger than the old orc boys.
Yeah.
Like, I got 5 guys in there. Normally
You would
can fit,
almost like
3.
have to eBay them, or even like build up your battle wagon with like cardboard sides, so it was like
kind of like what you
Tonka
did.
truck bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
I was a power gamer back in the day.
there's a rule, huh? I will break your rule, and I will defecate on it.
Shit on
just
your rules.
It's just a big funnel leading down into it.
So like, all right, I'm just gonna forego the whole like transport thing because it's silly. But so Bad Ruck and then a Weird Boy, and I do have like the Rogue Trader Weird Boy.
Oh,
but
nice.
That I've been using for like forever. He's always been my Weird Boy.
No, this is the edition where you have like the guys, the minders that go along with him,
So
right?
he's not a warp head. So that's the warp head.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
right.
I wanted to do that, but I think I was talking to Trevor and he was going to give me one, and then I forgot to get it while I was over there. So, then 5 Snotling bases, 10 Grots, because for half the points cost, like just as good a ballistic skill with an auto gun, like whatever. And then 9 freebooters with bolters. They're just regular freebooters, and then you have the freebooter custom shooters. They're the flash kits. So there's 10 of those. Orc Dread, and I'm really excited about that because that's like the Dread. Like, did you see the one with the Eldar Wraith Knight that was looted, and there's like a grot on top of it running it?
I've seen that.
Okay.
I think we talked about it last episode actually.
Oh, okay. So I'm excited to like finally finish that. Like I put it together.
It wasn't
10
finished?
years ago. Yeah, no, I still got to finish some.
Everything's a work in progress.
Well, okay.
It doesn't have a red. It doesn't have a green ring around the base.
So
Didn't you
the
notice?
problem is it's not weathered, which is why he thinks it's not
okay.
finished.
It's just tabletop plus.
Yeah,
right now.
it's just tabletop.
One of
plus.
my rats had
Notice
eaten
how
the
there's
knee
no
out.
question mark on that.
So like one of the rats had eaten the knee out on it at one point, so I had to like rebuild the knee, and it's still putty. Anyway, so Orc Dread, then Pulsar Rocket, one Pulsar Rocket,
Yeah.
and a tractor cannon.
Why even bother
Ooh,
going?
the tractor cannons were really good, right?
I want to try that. I want
That
to
was
like
the one that was like the scaffolding with the big clam shape.
Oh, that was a smash gun.
Was that
Oh
the
yeah,
smash
the
gun?
smash gun.
Oh.
But I'm kind of I want to try to like throw a Pulsar Rocket out there, have it to go off, and then drag people through the Pulsar Rocket just to like have it like bounce them all over the place. I think it'd be fun, and then drag them close and then shoot them with like all the flash kits.
So how did you get banned from Adepticon, Ted? Well, apparently I'm an asshole in second edition.
Oh no, it's orcs. So second edition orcs. So like, yeah, that's what the plan is. But really, what will happen is like,
Womp, womp,
yeah,
womp.
it'll either come off perfectly and you'll win all your games super easy, or it'll all go horribly and all your guys will die in some weird warp storm accident caused by a pulsar rocket.
That. I love it. Like when there's like 2 pages of rules for the shock attack gun, like solid pages of rules. Like, hold on, I'm gonna fire this. I gotta read. Stay right there. If you want to get a beer, that's fine. It's going to take a while.
Well, like last year when we did, I recorded an Only War campaign with a few guys.
Okay.
One of the things that's happening is we were in a tank. We're a tank crew driving along and being attacked. We're assaulting like this hill position, and there was a shock attack gun up there.
Oh wow.
I'm like, oh shit, because when he started describing, I'm like, oh my god, that's what it is. He's like, you don't know what that is, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I know what that is.
Wow.
They fired it. And we rolled so badly. Like one guy had a snotling merged with his knee. So it was like permanently out there, but he like lucked into some skills, which meant it wasn't hurting him at all.
Oh wow.
So he's just part snotling now.
So it's there forever.
Yeah, it's there forever.
The
So-
dream.
the dream.
He's half man, half plant.
Because our GM was like, or the DM was like, well, yeah, you have this skill and this skill. So he was like, oh, so this really doesn't affect me at all. He's like,
Oh, was he wanting it to?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but I just overwrote it. So now he's just he covers it with like a satchel, like a side satchel.
A
I'm like,
wig.
this is like this is my leg now. But yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
awesome.
So like 2 pages of rules for a shock attack gun.
Yeah.
Like literally anything can happen with it.
Yeah, and I think like we've had trouble like Kurt and I like putting together a schedule. So I'll try to like get a game in ahead of time. But it's like it's 1,000 points and it's not even a full day. Like it's a half day thing. So I
Right.
imagine we're only gonna play a couple games. And
So we say, well,
it's more for funsies.
1,000 points of Oldhammer is like 3 heroes and a squad.
Well, that's about what that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Sounds
like
about right.
minimum squads, like, or I mean, almost minimum because I guess orcs could go 5 back then. But yeah, I was like 10, 10, 10. And hopefully, like I was looking at it, and I now have 2 painted models for it so far.
Yes.
Like,
3 weeks to go. 3 weeks to go.
2 grots down that were mostly painted already. So that's gonna be, I think, like spring break for me. But other than that, like we had some guys over for, it was just like a casual, like, hey Dad, can we come over and like model? And so we did that.
You're like $5.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of fun, but it was also like kind of going back to like that, like teaching people how to paint. Like I was teaching them how to scrap build. And so like, no, don't just glue stuff together. Here, like come up with your idea. Draw the thing out first.
Did
And
they
like,
use the thing, it's orky, so it's okay?
Oh,
That's
no,
like my
there's a
least
reason I
favorite.
didn't build my tech marine at your house. I didn't until
judgment.
Because I was like, I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna send him a picture and see what he says. And you were like, wow, that came out pretty good. I was like, yes, because if he'd watched me do it, he'd have been like, what are you doing?
He didn't want to be shamed.
He shamed me anyway.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like an asshole because I definitely was like, I was like pushing him like, no, don't just glue a door there to connect these 2 pieces. Like here, like think about like how you want to do that. Like here, wouldn't you have like a pinion here, and then like you'd have not opinion, but anyway. So
Because Ted's got the
obviously
opinion.
yeah, it goes without saying. So,
I have opinion
so I kept like trying to push it and then like bring out my big pink plastic bag full of plastic card. Like, all right, we got to like fabricate up this like this union for the 2 pieces. And he's like, man, what the hell? This is too much. Like, why are you being such an asshole? Like, 'cause I don't want you to fuck it up. Don't fuck up your models.
Because when you tell people that you learned how to do this at my house, I want them to know that it came out
Yeah,
good.
your reputation's on the line. Where did you do that? Oh, Ted showed me how. I'm like, huh, okay.
I'm now on antidepressants, but I have a really good looking model. Anti-anxiety medication, probably. So I kind of pushed him pretty hard, but like I think he was pretty happy with it.
That's all that matters, right?
I think that's it. Like I definitely remember like as a kid, like the things I came up with, and though they were creative, air quotes, it was thinking back on it, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken that GI Joe gun and like just glued it to there. Like just.
That's the perfect conversion.
Yeah,
I'm having like the same conversations with my son right now, but like for a different thing. Like he's super into his Madden video game. He's really into football right now for some reason. But he's playing the game, right? And this is horrible sports terminology, but it's like 4th down with 12 to go because he's 8. And he's like, I'm going to trick him and I'm going to run it. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't do that. And he's like, no, I'm going to trick them. It's going to work. And you just, everything in your head is wanting to scream at them like, that's not going to work. That's not how these things work.
We've all been 8 before. Yeah. We know how it goes.
Except that it worked, didn't it?
No, it didn't work. It didn't work. But yeah. It is very, like, staying quiet sometimes and letting people find out by themselves is so hard for me.
Well, I mean, the way I figure it, and not to be arrogant, but like, I mean, if they're coming, but if they're gonna come over and like ask like for help on something, is like I gotta be there to like force them. And I think like you get people out of their comfort zone, and like it might not be fun and enjoyable, but like the end product, they'll have learned something. If you don't challenge them and like, I mean, you work out and it hurts. Like you're not getting a good workout if it's like, oh, this is easy.
There's also the unfortunate option that some people just aren't good at that sort of stuff, and so maybe helping them work out. I mean, not everybody's born to be an Olympian. I mean, some people,
but they can at least lift properly.
Just ride a tractor.
If after at the end of it, they're like, that was not okay, then all right, well, risk is a lot cheaper anyway. Like,
well, that's fun.
Says Ted to the guy staring at his now ruined model. Well, risk is cheaper for me because this didn't cost me anything. Thanks for the pizza. Now get out.
But I don't know if they just don't do anything when they come over, then I don't think they're getting anything out of it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they got stuff.
They're asking you for help. You might as well give them help.
He came back over today, so like, can you show me how to magnetize? Yeah, man, let's do it.
You're sitting there with like the steel
whip
ruler,
out the big old drill. Let's magnetize.
I was kind of a bum, like because it was the Chinook. You got like the Warcopter from Forge World, and which is a great kit. Like I have one. I'm really happy with it, and it's kind of fun. Like I love Forge World because it's so like it's just like watching fan films, like like the Lovecraft Film Festival. You're like, oh, all these people, they decided to become filmmakers. That's great, but it's like really high quality HP Lovecraft films. But yeah, like I think his complaint was like the instructions are they're photocopied, hard to read, and everything else. Like,
Hashtag Forge World.
Yeah, their new instructions are amazing.
Oh no, the new ones are really good. But like I bought the War Boss on the bike from Forge World.
Oh yeah,
great kit, beautiful. But like the instructions for it, or it's like a list of its parts and a picture of the finished model, and I think a picture of someone flipping me off. Like, figure it the fuck out. Which to the point where I built it, I had like 2 tiny pieces left over. I looked at the bike and I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Or free parts. Yeah, but I think like going through that, like he was really frustrated. Of course, like he's new, so it was like really obnoxious, and I kind of enjoy it. Like I put together enough like Lego kits. Like Legos have like horrible instructions in a lot of ways. Like you look at it, you're like, all right, I know there's 8 pieces here. I don't know where they go because they don't show you where they go. So I have to like reference the other picture, and then you're like, okay, count up the Legos that go here, count up the Legos that go here, or these 8 go here.
Oh man, there's nothing more relaxing than building a Lego kit though.
Oh, it's fun.
Like my favorite, like I have that corner shop emporium, and that putting that together took me like 2 days. And it was just like I almost like had like classical music playing in my head the whole time because I didn't have to think. I just turned off and and Where's Waldo, the entire instructions. Yeah.
It's enjoyable, but yeah, so he was really frustrated, so he came over to like work on stuff, and they're like, oh, that's backwards. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I couldn't understand it. Like, I get it, dude. I get it. But I forgot like that they give you a ton of options in the rules. Like you could take like Scorcha or a custom Mega Blasta or like Def Guns or Rattler Cannons and all that stuff, and they don't give you any of the options. It's just like the same thing. So I'd forgotten that, so I was like, hey man, you really should magnetize those weapons. So he comes over, he's like, yeah, I brought everything with me. He's like, we don't have to magnetize anything because you only got one big shooter.
Yeah, well, it gives you the option to put them on there, but now it's kind of
they
like
don't give you the model for it. No. So that I'm kind of like, the way they were going, they started making rules like in codexes for only what comes on the model. So I wonder if they're gonna like strip all that. And
I think it's just they updated all of the ranges for 8th edition.
Yeah, and
then like fuck it, custom Mega Blasters are in the codex. Might as well give it as an option here too.
Yeah.
But I think that there's some stuff that they're trying to get away from. Like the Space Marine Codex does not have Librarian on a bike, but Librarian on a bike is a model that exists currently.
But I think it's like Forge World. Like exclusively Forge World, they'll add in options and stuff like that for like the Chinork.
So my like the curiosity is like I wonder if because like Forge World has been pretty good about like that, and you're like, we don't have it on the model, we're gonna still give you that option. And but I think like for Forge World it's also, and this is where it's not, I can't say because GW Prime is doing it they're gonna do this, but which is like slim down what comes in the rules because it's not on the actual model. But but it's also like Forge World is for at one point it was for the experienced hobbyist, versus like the commoner. And now of course it's like
Forge World Master Race.
Exactly. But I mean, they used to be like really expensive comparatively, and now they're about the same almost. And
if you live in Australia.
Sorry guys.
I actually think that the price, it seems like the newer stuff that Forge World is releasing actually seems to be coming down in price to like starting price.
Yeah,
not for like super big stuff, but I mean like the Calm Leviathan Dreadnought seemed like it was reasonably priced, and instead of being, well, I mean it was the same price as a regular Leviathan, right?
No, it's more expensive.
I don't believe you.
Leviathan.
It's fine.
Well, right. The guy who has them.
As someone who owns Kuln and regular Leviathans.
It doesn't fit the narrative.
If you pull up a receipt right now, and you're going to have to go show it to the camera, walk up to the camera and show it up. Because no one will believe you. They'll just make it up.
I don't care,
but like bits and stuff like that.
If
None
they've
of
made it
that
this
really
far, I
seemed,
no longer care. YouTube will take care of us.
Like the shoulder bits and stuff like that, the icon stuff, all seem, when I ordered a bunch of that for the Sons of Horus, it all seemed fairly reasonably priced to me. Like it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was getting screwed over to customize my dudes. So
I mean it definitely like depends. I think like one person, because I agree, like it seems like a lot of like you can get a variant of like a Rhino for just a little bit more than you would a Rhino, because I think they had like that one Rhino set for like 100 pounds, and it comes out to like roughly what it'd be for like 3 plastic like Rhinos. But so that is kind of cool. Like I hope that stays.
It's about $20 cheaper for a regular Leviathan.
Oh, booyah in your butthole. Whoop, whoop. What's in this box? What's in the box?
What's
You really missed an opportunity right there. Missed an opportunity.
I was a kid eating pudding.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's about all I've been up to.
Yeah.
Well, then what
How
about
you, John?
what about you, John?
Well, me? Oh,
really?
man. My hobbying, I've painted nothing. And I've purchased nothing.
It's not true. You painted something last week, didn't you?
Age of Sigmar.
We don't talk about that.
Isn't it? No, but what about that thing over there?
Oh, you had the flower with the cup.
Oh yeah. So
You know
I had a team building night with my work where myself and my peers went to a painting class, and we all painted a coffee plant. Except my leaves are very undersized. Anytime I've painted before, like, because I've done like baby canvases like and stuff years ago, but I've always kind of sketched out with pencil. Like, I feel very unsure of just going straight in there with paint. And the teacher's let's go straight in with paint. And I'm like, well, all my leaves are tiny.
I don't
now.
even do that.
Yeah, I was like, all my leaves are tiny now, so I guess this is the world we live in. But I like how my cup turned out.
It's cute. I like it. Your
it's
leaves
pretty
look
good.
really nice.
I think it would be masterclass if you'd done some weathering on it.
Yeah, pigment powder.
Yeah.
Pigment powder. Yeah.
Some damage streaks across the cup.
What I did
pluck
do
foam.
though is myself and Nate, we ran another Ultramar Cup tournament for new people.
I'm sorry, but I just really want to for us to start selling like masterclass like kits. Or just pluck foam, some pigment, and some dirt off the ground.
Yeah.
Anyway, go back.
Oh, it's in there. We're gonna start doing that.
Branding.
But yeah, so we ran another Ultramar Cup, which is super fun. Had like 14 people show up for this one here. We had like a 15th show up at like 1, like, oh, you guys started early today? We're like, no.
Normal time.
Normal time.
What are on Hawaii time? Like what?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, East Coast time.
They thought daylight savings time was last weekend. So
but no, it was a really good turnout, a lot of fun. Won by Ethan, who ran Tau drone spam, which was really fun to watch. It was just bizarre.
unless you were playing against him, I assume.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was just because it was all like you would dump all your shots. Like, well, it's a unit of 2, so it was like, well, shit, I should have added some more kill point missions in there. But part of that is kind of there was a vote there because some players we kind of limited who could attend these tournaments just to kind of keep build a newer player base up. And there was some concerns that people weren't allowed to go, so we put it to the players and let them vote on it. And it came out to right up until the very last vote, it was a tie on whether to let people in or not. So okay. So we let them in, but that's where Nate and I now have to work on kind of making sure we keep the spirit of the event, because we don't want it to turn into like a seal clubbing, which I'm sure it wouldn't be. But we're kind of reworking missions.
That's why I stopped going to the Ultramar Cup, is I started feeling like I was just seal clubbing.
Being clubbed by seals?
Being clubbed by seals.
Yeah, I think you were being clubbed by seals.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but
what's the thing that when you lose every game?
Winning good.
You guys have seen Kung Pao enter the fist?
Yeah.
We taught him wrong as a joke. But so no, Nate and I were like, okay, we have to redo all of the missions now. Because we're going to add in some soft scores for kind of sportsmanship, some hobby scores, things like that.
Nice. Yay.
Soft scores for
the return of soft scores.
Hobby and sportsmanship. Shit, I got to come back. I'm going to win. Just that's how I'm going to win.
No, because you're Tabletop Plus. That would be seal clubbing in a new way. But no, it's lots of fun. I'm even thinking about what I'm doing is instead of having a primary and secondary mission, like old school ITC style, each mission having 2 different objectives, and you pick which one you want to go for at the start of the mission. So you both players can be going for the same thing, different things, but essentially I have 10 missions to rewrite now. So I'm super happy about that. I got a base. What?
Just you look super happy. You know you're on camera, right? It's
yeah, that's fine.
Super,
I was
super happy.
Well, I'm
about
legitimately super happy that it's an event popular enough to kind of warrant this kind of attention and get people really hyped about it. And to continue to support that is super cool. At the same time, I literally just finished those fucking missions a month ago.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
So why do you have to redo the missions?
Just to add some more balance and stuff to them, because I want it to be.
They're stale already.
If you want to get rid of the competitive players, put less balance in them.
Well, I'm already destroying the community.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to have the community not destroyed anymore. You know, it's all back together. Everybody will be able to
I am
play.
destroyer and creator. And then, in my other role,
Thank you, Shiva John.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Shiva John is. I started kind of doing. We have our annual convention that Nate and I run with Gene, one of the owners of a local store, Tier 1. I started planning out the schedule for that this year, which was, trying to figure out. Scheduling is always fun with big tournaments with multiple events. Because, you have to find a way to fit in a 5-round 40K tournament. Oh, but these guys also want to play this game. Oh, but also this game.
Yeah.
And also this game. So trying to do all that. So that was a fun
Are you
day
thinking
of
about
spreadsheeting.
running Shadow War Armageddon again?
No, you can't auto win that one.
Damn it.
I even left. So like right now, like it's very bare bones. I was like, I left room where things can go in if they get popular. But like right now, there's no like.
Is there Shadespire?
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, because most of the people that would be interested in Shadespire is quick though. I mean, that could be something that runs over like a crappy event.
Day long because generally Shadespire is 3 or 4 rounds, and then the final pair play a round together, and each round is 3 games, so it's about an hour and a half a round. So it's usually a day. Right. But it's mainly it's just show me the community. I'll put an event on for it. Like we dropped Malifaux this year because there was 6 players last year. We dropped the Age of Sigmar narrative because it didn't fit the space. So
have you seen Malifaux players still? Because there was a while where it became like really popular.
Well,
is it still?
They have
really popular.
The henchman they had moved out of state, and a new henchman took over who is a great guy. I think you've heard of him before, Danny. But Danny has got his
penis
fingers
jokes about Slanesh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. I wasn't there for
Maybe
that.
he was.
Neither was I.
Oh wait, that was my house.
Yeah. So what if I told you he also made a Hot Pocket reference?
No.
Was it him? Or was it me?
No, it wasn't you. You're not funny.
That was totally me.
But Danny's got his fingers in everything. They're in
many pies.
Many pies.
He's a seasoned baker.
Yes.
He's a master baker, you could say.
Oh, that's funny. It's a masturbation joke, Dave.
I got it. I mastered it.
But anyway, yeah. So like that's been my free hobby time this past couple weeks has been running an event, planning an event, and planning to run an event.
That sounds really productive for the community.
Super productive.
So glad.
Yeah.
So glad you're doing
tearing
this.
it apart.
I bought Eisenhorn. I plan on putting him together. It's
Cool.
my growing army. I now have like 6 Inquisitors for some reason. Thank you, Chris Rodden, stupid fucking book.
That reminds me. What do you got on the docket for the next tutorial that you're thinking about doing?
Actually, one of the guys came over this weekend, gave me Eisenhorn to paint, so I
Son
might
of
actually
a
be doing
bitch.
Eisenhorn.
All
What?
right. Nothing.
Were you
He
gonna do
wanted
Eisenhorn?
he wanted
Do
you
you
to
think
paint his
Eisenhorn
Eisenhorn.
will be up in value at any point in time in the future?
What do you want to sell Eisenhorn?
No,
Did you buy
The
it?
spare one I have.
was
Yeah.
I don't
free.
have one though. Like it's for him.
It's freely available.
So if you
Well,
want
yeah,
to
but
give him to me,
are
I'll
you-
take it.
I mean, if you're gonna paint his up for as the tutorial, then
So you wanted me to paint yours up?
no, I wanted you to paint yours up. I bought 2.
I don't have.
He was
not
going to
listening.
give you one. That was what he
All
was
right,
saying.
I'll paint your mine up.
Nope.
Ours up.
It's too late now.
eBay
it is. You can look for it. It's under Mob Rules John on eBay.
Yes. I got the money for it.
All right.
I also I started going through some of my models and trying to figure out if I want to sell some stuff.
Are you
Because
looking to get rid of
there's
any Dreadnought drop pods?
there's piles of stuff. Like I still have that Fire Raptor in a bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember? And I'm like, because I was like, I want to put that together, but I'm like, I already have a Fire Raptor I put together.
I'll give you $50 for it.
No.
No.
You got it for free.
Hey,
No.
Okay.
wait,
Yeah.
let's talk. Because right now you're into me right now for like $25 already.
I just offered him 50.
No, him.
Why
I
am
know.
into you for
I offered
25
him
bucks?
50.
I don't know.
I can give him
perhaps
50, then you
if
give me
you could
25.
think
and he's
about
up
any
for
sort
25.
of Rambo
down.
looking model that would have come over from the UK.
Oh, that I paid you for cash when you gave it to me?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Oh, you're not helping. We need a video cast back then.
I'm helping him
I know you are.
because I'm trying to get this Fire Raptor for $50.
Well, I was thinking, what does a Fire Rapper retail for anyway?
Oh man, you
Do you
just
remember?
like him.
It's
so
about
long before you roll.
$50.
It's
But
not
it's about
50
$50
bucks.
It's about 105 pounds. If I remember
How much
right.
do
Oh, is
Warhammer
it?
Command
I thought it
tanks
was
retail
75.
for?
Oh,
Is
I
it
don't know.
100? Oh, it is. No, I think you're right. It's 100.
How much?
100.
How much do Warhammer World
110
only command
pounds, the one-up
tanks,
price.
retail for?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But so I was looking at maybe get offloading a Fire Raptor. I'm
Yeah,
looking
that's
at
a good idea.
offloading
I don't want it. I was just
a Wraith Seer. Like I have a Wraith Seer new in bag.
Oh, the
The Eldar like
No, I
Psyker ghost
Ritz,
thingy.
I was
Forge
thinking the
World
Bone
one?
Seer. I thought maybe you'd ordered
No,
one of
I
those.
have 2 Bone Seers, so I was like looking at those as well. Just like a lot of stuff, like because I have a shitload of stuff, and there's like I'm gonna keep my Tyranids. I love my Tyranids. Keep my Orcs. I love my Orcs. But like my Marines and some of the Eldar
Really?
stuff.
You shut your whore mouth.
You've been playing those guys
Marines?
steadily.
Yeah, and I'm not having fun with
Okay.
Marines.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm gonna keep them all. Like I'm gonna keep all the guys because like heresy
me.
and stuff. But I'm not like it's not as fun for me as playing like when I played Orcs. So the team tournament, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I played Tyranids, it's a ton of fun.
Uh-huh.
And just when I play Marines, it's like I don't know. I put a bunch of dreadnoughts on the table and I'm good to go. But
Man,
See, that's sort of thing. Like, I play Marines more often than I play my Orcs or anything, and it's just because it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Like, and not easy to, it's just like easy to play them because you have like fewer models.
Yeah.
Like, they're more stable. They do what you want. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot to like think up a list.
maybe yours do. I try to
Yours are
post
very
mine,
unstable.
mine don't do shit. They're like, all right, let's kill it. We should shoot at this thing and kill it. All right, I missed with everything I had. That was 1,600 dice that I rolled. So.
I enjoy rolling like a billion dice
Yeah.
though. So yeah, I was like looking.
You should sell everything you've got and buy just repulsors then.
I think it's like that was kind of the fun thing about like Orcs and maybe Tyranids to some degree is like because shit is stacked in your against you like so hard that like when it comes off like you have that victory, it's like amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's really hard to get like an amazing like, oh my god, I can't believe I just did that with Space Marines.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Like I'm looking at that. Oh, and then also one of my friends bought a Warlord Titan, and he would like some help / encouragement to build it.
Oh wow.
So
He hasn't been. He wasn't waiting for more parts to come in because they sent
a
him the wrong
different
stuff.
friend,
Oh wow.
and he needs to have it built by March 24th
Why?
for his March Apocalypse event.
Oh okay.
So it's
Okay.
teams, 10,000 point teams, 4 10,000 point teams for this event. We're very hyped for it because we've managed to secure a 7 model list.
So you guys have decided that you're one team already.
Yes.
Kind of dickish.
It specifically says on the event to choose your teams.
Oh.
But you. Okay.
You you feel a little excluded.
Well, I wasn't interested in the March Apocalypse anyway. It's too long.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. It's,
okay.
But
it's
no,
not-
I mean,
it's only a bunch of hipsters.
if you're gonna run Neil on one and Hogshead on one, then Warlords will balance out. But if not, Warlord on one side is pretty much.
But there's only 6 other models in that list.
I know, it's still kind of dickish.
Everything wounds on cinches.
Jesus.
Ted, how many Titans you got? You're gonna be gone.
I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying
be
is-
taking my Titan with me.
Because he's doing the Titan
Tata,
Hall.
when you listen to this, give me a call.
He doesn't listen
need to
this.
get your
He
access.
plays D&D now.
That's where I'm getting a couple of the extra models.
Oh wow.
You son of a bitch!
I got one of them sitting in my room.
Well, I'm out.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's about all I've been up to.
All right.
And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll help you. I'd just bring it over here. I'll certainly not film it at the side and put portions of it on YouTube for Warlord sub-assemblies.
Awesome. Do it. That's awesome. Okay.
But
that's
yeah,
not happening.
I'm not doing that. Wink. Oh, shit, it's recording.
He doesn't watch or listen, I'm sure, so it's fine.
Yes. But yeah, that's about all I've been up to.
That's cool.
So yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah.
We're going to come on back.
All right.
We're going to talk about something else.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback, lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half-century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time without cumbersome musical accompaniment, he'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all generations. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles More Shit, a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney. Buy it today.
already. Oh yeah, we're back.
That was a little behind the scenes.
Oh man, yeah, we were having
scenes.
some really nice like technical discussions, like because we started off the podcast with like discussions about technicalities and how we run things and products we use, and oh man, isn't Photoshop CS6 great? Oh yeah, look at this editing software. But no,
what are you talking about? I edit with a crayon.
I remember like before we started a podcast, like that was actually kind of fun. Was like listening to and kind of like what was like inspiration in some ways was like I think it was Overlords. They were talking like in one of their episodes, like, oh, we do this, and like, oh, it's attainable. You do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
Anybody could do that.
Maybe we have to do that next time. Let's talk about
that way we flood the market with more
the,
people.
the technology behind the podcast.
20 more podcasts show up all of a sudden.
Yeah, we want to go up in numbers, not down.
But that one episode, man, the download numbers would be like 23.
Huge. We don't need you anymore.
So I guess, I suggested that we talk about Necrons this time, and mainly because I was reading a lot about Age of Sigmar and Tomb Kings. And then I'm like, oh, wait, shit, I do a 40K podcast.
Oh, wow.
That's why Necrons. I couldn't figure out why you said Necrons out of the blue. And then, of course, the box that released, it was like, John had insider information.
No, I did not. No, that was just extremely lucky on my part. It was just mainly like I was reading a whole bunch of stuff about death for Age of Sigmar.
That makes way more sense
Tomb
now.
Kings and trying to find Screaming Soul Catapults. And I'm like, oh, Necrons. And we talked about them a little bit last time as well, I think, right? Kind of the update from when they were originally released as a White Dwarf army with 2 units.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to kind of up where they are now. And like I have to say, after kind of doing some research today, kind of looking into that backstory is like the most tragic backstory like I've ever heard. And it's like
there's a lot more depth to them than initially.
So much depth, and I think like it's like, what was it, the Futurama, where there was like, oh, who's that? It was like that robot's being programmed with the most tragic backstory of anyone imaginable. And it's the same thing with these robots, because Jesus Christ, they just couldn't catch a break for 60 million years.
And what's kind of neat is like, after going through this backstory, like, I used to think like, oh, they're just the undead of the 40K universe. They are not. They're the Stormcast.
No, yeah, they absolutely are the Stormcast. Oh man,
good analogy.
Yeah, that's really good. So our Necrons didn't start off as Necrons. Imaginatively enough, they started off as a Necrontyr, a race on a single planet, not unlike this one. But unlike this one, there was a
Are you
horrible.
saying I could be a giant robot in the future?
I mean,
you could
maybe play your cards right.
Sweet.
But there was like
Dave's essence got put into a manufacturing machine in a Toyota plant.
My luck.
He's a
Dave
giant
has
machine.
become Prius. But yeah,
I love hubcaps.
They started off as this like regular race, but they lived on this planet where like their sun was actively killing them with radiation. So they had like really shitty short lives. And they because their lifespan was so short, like they worshiped death, and they were like all super like, oh, when I die I'll move on and do this, and what they got in death was entirely dependent on what they did in life and how much like they contributed. So you had this like group of like very quick technological advancement because people were wanting to have like really good afterlives. Because if you think about it, if you're only living till 30 and then the rest of your existence is this afterlife, you want to set yourself up a pretty goddamn good retirement plan.
Yeah.
So we got like lots and lots of advancement. We also got lots of people trying to get the fuck off this planet that was trying to slowly kill them.
And this was like ages ago. I think like this is, we're talking like the old ones era. Like they were hanging out pre-orcs, I think, at this point, like pre-Eldar.
Way before everything else.
Yeah, it's like 65 million. Like I looked it up. It's the same time. If 40K is in this universe, the Necrons or the Necrontyr were around where Triceratops were roaming the Earth. That's like 65, 70 million years ago. All of this is happening here. So they try and they're like, okay, we need to get off of this fucking planet. We need to go. So they build these great spaceships. They don't have warp travel. Warp travel isn't a thing.
The warp hasn't been invented yet. Al Gore hasn't invented the warp.
Pretty much, actually, at this point. And like so.
Well, and they're flying blind without the Emperor to guide them. So you know.
Well, mainly they're flying blind because their planet's surrounded by radiation from the sun.
It just dawned on me: the Emperor is Al Gore. No, anybody? No.
That's an inconvenient truth.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to talk about right now. Yes. Terrible jokes.
Score pun for the fumigator.
So Al Gore isn't here yet. We don't have a scissor lift to show us how high the radiation of this planet is.
Okay.
And they're sending these ships out across the galaxy very, very slowly to kind of get it. Like, it's the example of if I wanted to move to Florida.
Okay.
And I decide I'm going to get there by walking.
Okay.
It's
because they developed stasis ships because of their short lifespan.
Right. So what they had to do.
there.
The thing is, okay, so they're sending these ships out. They don't know where they're going. When they get to somewhere that's good, which is like a needle in a haystack chance,
Right.
they end up not being able to communicate back with the main planet because of the radiation from the sun blocking everything.
It killed everyone they've known since then.
So they're just kind of staying there like, well, fuck, okay, guess whatever.
Legit.
So they do develop stasis.
Yeah.
So like, okay, this will be way more effective, and they send them out across the galaxy, still completely blindly and in random directions. But when they get there, they still have like 3 years left to live or whatever it is. And there's some stuff there.
And that was, I think, part of it was like it wasn't just the radiation that was killing him. There was like not a curse. It was something like that. I think they had like some genetic disease or something, like they started limiting their life due to it or
I'm
something.
sure you get
Okay.
you get a lot of genetic diseases from radiation. Yeah. So,
Okay.
But they're out across the galaxy, and now they're living a little longer. So they're establishing these Necrontyr worlds. But the problem is that they can't really contact their home world. So everyone's forming their own little army, like different things. And although there's like they call them the Triarch that are in charge, which is, surprise, 3 guys.
I thought it was a tree.
Yeah.
Steve the tree.
An arch made of a tree.
Yeah.
can't be Steve the tree.
And
Okay,
the,
that's a
the
Guardsman.
Silent King is like the lead Necron or Necrontyr in charge. And they're all subservient to him until the fact they realize that, hey, wait a second, I don't fucking listen to you. You're like thousands of miles away. And the only way you're going to get here is if you put yourself in stasis and fly for 30 years.
And hopefully arrive at the same place we do. So.
And by that time, I'll be dead.
Yeah. And then
In
they're
your
still not
face,
curing all of
Necrontyr.
the goddamn diseases they have.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, I'm still dying. And that's when they come across the old ones. This fantastical, immortal, ancient, powerful race that can cure all diseases and benevolent and they loved. And the Necrontyr go up and they're like, oh, please cure us, old ones. You're so malevolent. And they're like, nah.
So in the meantime, all these planets are getting eaten by these like Galactus without a body, right? Is this when they stumble into the Satan?
So yeah, this is what. So they're like, nah. Like, well, fuck you then. And then so what happens is that I believe at this point they decide to declare war on the old ones because the old ones are all peaceful and shit like that.
Makes sense.
So the old ones are like, oh man, I don't want to kill you. That would be really bad. I'm going to invent orcs. Here, go. I'm not going to kill you, but by proxy, these guys will.
The Crocs at that point.
Yeah. And they kind of get beaten back, and they're now back on Necrotyr. And that's when they find, it's not the Deceiver. What's the other guy?
The Deceiver.
I think it was the Deceiver.
Yeah, it's the Deceiver.
Because the Deceiver, I think they find the Satan are like these cosmic entities without bodies that are going through and like eating like life off of worlds, like Galactus without a body.
Yeah.
And they're these old star gods that like go back to the Satan. The Satan and them like hated each other. And I think they had a war, and that wasn't the war in the heavens. I think that was later, right?
Yeah.
And then like I think at some point they got banished. They were beaten by the Satan, and I think the Necron, they find him and they're like. They decide that they're gonna try to. I think the Deceiver convinced them.
Well, yeah. So
to make
what
them
happens
bodies.
is, the Nightbringer was eating their son.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Right. So like eating the radioactive sun, which 1, great, no more radioactive sun.
Kind of.
2, no sun. So
Right.
it's probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
Kinda need that.
But they decide they make this. They can't communicate with him because he's fucking god eating a sun. It's really hard to do that. So they make this body out of the necrodermis, which is what they call their funky metal.
Yeah, the living metal stuff.
And then the guy, like the gods, entered that part in there. Oh, you're good, Nick. Come on in. You're gonna be on camera anyway. So the gods entered the kind of this body that they invented, but that caused them more goddamn problems.
Yeah.
Because if you were like an all-powerful, almighty god, and you don't have any concept of time or feeling, you just go around eating people, and then all of a sudden that you have like hands and a concept of time and shit to do, then you're gonna go insane and start doing a whole bunch of stuff. And this is when the deceiver comes in.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if they send someone to negotiate with your culture called the deceiver, it's probably not for the best.
I'm sure he went by a different name, like Frank. It's like, just call me Frank. Frank the Decider.
You can come through.
I didn't sign a release.
I'll cut this part out of the video cast. But I won't.
Just kidding.
Sign a release.
It's like all those times I had it stuff out.
You signed a release when you moved in.
Yeah. Your soul belongs to John.
Hey.
In case of video footage.
So he goes and tries to convince the Necrontyr so that they can get rid of their mortality, right?
Well, he promised those them.
like, guess
he does
what?
like the old like genie in a bottle trick where you wish for $1 million and you get it, but secretly you get it from everyone you love and they're all poor and broke.
Legal
So he tells
clauses.
them and he's like, "Hey guys, so I'm gonna make you guys immortal. I'm gonna make you be able to fight the old ones. I'm gonna make you do all of this stuff. You don't have to do anything for me." And then the Silent King's like, "Wait, this is too fun good to be true. We're not doing this." And they spend like a year debating whether to do this or not. All the time, they're dying at like 25 from sun cancer. There's probably
it's
still
a silent killer.
Yeah, it's a silent killer. And all of this bad shit's happening till eventually, they're just like, "Okay, we accept your terms." And they're like, "Well, yeah, because you don't have a choice."
I love it. It was like, I think the deceiver's like, all right, you guys have to make the metal bodies that you're going to live in. So you're basically like, all right, we're going to make our own caskets. Cool. Let's do it.
Why are we making all these robots? Don't worry about it.
Just make robots.
But yeah, they build these massive soul furnaces as soon as the deal is done. And then the entire Necrontyr race just kind of like walks through these factories and then they come out robots. And then, the Silent King is the last one to leave. He sees what's happened to all of his people and he feels nothing because he's a fucking Terminator now.
Yeah. But I think wasn't he, or there was somebody, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been him. And in the last moments, he's like, wait a second. This is not good. We basically just sold, because I think at this point, the Satan were sucking up like all the energy that was coming out of it.
It was after.
Like
it was after this they found that the Satan actually ate souls.
Yeah.
And the deal that they made, like the bad genie deal where technically you are immortal and technically you're way more powerful now. It was just so that they could feed the soul.
It's almost like they deceived him in some way.
I mean, if he called himself the deceiver. The Silent King is like, yeah, he called himself a deceiver, right? It's like, must do. Yeah, that's the only acceptable. He must have done that.
I'm Frank, nice. The soul stealer. What did you say? I'm Frank. The pipe cleaner. I'm here to chimney sweep.
That makes sense.
That Necron porno. But it's with this, and the by this point, because like the Satan had devoured an entire race, genocided a race, they're very powerful to the point where they were like, well, we want to fly across the universe and attack these guys now. And they're like, there is a warp drive. What's a warp drive? Don't worry about it.
You got
Faster
it.
than
Get in
light.
and go.
Get going.
So
whatever they imagined just appeared.
So in the past, like a lot of like when races go extinct, like Thunder Warriors, for example, like Thunder Warriors went extinct because they're supposed to die after a certain time. So like in the canon, there's like one guy who may be out there. I think there was like usually when like some race gets obliterated, there's like a couple out there somewhere. Like I don't remember seeing anywhere where the Necrontyr were like a couple out there, right? Like kind of leave the door open sometimes.
Let's be honest, when you're talking 60 million years, you're not going to just see like one Necrontyr that's still out there. It's going to be a lot of Necrontyr that are still out there.
It would be pretty funny though if you had like one Necrontyr who didn't get changed over, who went into stasis with everyone else and wakes up and looks around and is like, fuck.
I didn't get the update to my OS. Can I get that?
He's running through Windows 3.1 in a Windows ME world.
What do you mean it's not compatible?
Shit. I mean, there are probably planets way out there after because where they were in stasis for so long and they ended up because there's only so much explored in the galaxy that we know of. There's probably Necrontyr out there, but you'll never find them.
Well, what happens?
I guess
they
like
wake
the point
up
is
in
like
the
usually
Imperium.
they leave it like the door open instead of like you and I can like forge a narrative and say that there are, but like I
This
don't
one is
remember.
slammed shut.
Yeah, okay. It's like the squats.
Yeah. Because what are they going to do? Like
Too soon, Ted.
a planet of Necrontyr wakes up and they're unconverted. They're gonna be
No,
like,
not
let's wait 3 months for the cancer to kill them.
Not that there's a planet of Necrontyr that's out there, but that they, when they got to the planet they were on, or however far out of the non-explored system, eventually if they expand the system out, they could run into one further out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's possible.
The ship,
forge your narrative.
Yeah,
It's not possible. They're all dead.
All right, deal.
You have convinced me, sir, with your clever, logical words. Well done. Well done.
Well toned.
So now, the Necrons traveling super fast. They have these super fancy guns. They're all soulless, effective killing machines. So now the
not in
Satan's
8th
like,
edition, but-
oh shit, Eldar, here, have elves, space elves, go. And then these guys come along, and the Eldar kind of get massacred. But still fight them a little bit. It was when the Necrons they saw they were using the webway to move, so Necrons was like, oh, I'll get some of that, and then they jumped in. All the while, what was happening was the Necrons would land on a planet. They would do a little bit. The Satan would devour the indigenous species of the planet's souls, and then they would move on to the next planet. So you have these Satan who are getting more and more and more powerful.
They're like the spiritual version of the Tyranids.
Yeah. Yeah, they're almost exactly like the Tyranids.
Metal version of the Tyranids.
Less organic-y.
Less organic-y, yeah.
And then
It's like yin and yang.
I think my favorite part of it is the old ones. The old ones are getting murdered. Their little baby races they made are getting murdered. So they make a new race where using the warp called enslavers. And we talked about the enslavers in a very early mob rules when we talked about weird aliens.
Was it the old ones that did that, or was it the Satan that made
It
them?
was the old
I was
ones that
confused
made
about
them.
that. Okay.
And so they're like, go get them, because the Necrons that still had some kind of sentience were very afraid of being slaves. So these guys will feed on your fear of being slaves and go and kill you. But the problem is they spread. So they were part warp, part physical, but anything they touched or got in the mind of turned into enslavers.
Oh.
So then it started kind of spreading across the galaxy, and then fucking the old ones over more.
Wow.
Well, these old ones are great.
But at the same time, it
They were
fucked the
desperate.
Necrons over, because as any good Necron player knows, there is zero psychic defense.
Right.
So you have this army of enslavers who are getting bigger through
Those
this.
are big eyes.
So does every good Necron player knows Nate's head popped up and he
Oh,
was
did
like,
it? I know these things.
off camera in the kitchen. It's just
It's not off camera. The camera picks up there.
nice.
I can only cut so much, Nate.
It's the kitchen cam. Enslaving his meat.
But so all of the the Eldar and the orcs are being enslaved and turned into these psychic creatures. The Necrons are being killed by these psychic creatures. So in a roundabout kind of way, the plan's working.
Kind of.
Oh.
The Necrons are the Necrons. The old ones are kind of like those guys that are like, oh shit, I gotta fly. I'll get a spider. Nah, fuck, too many spiders. I'll get a lizard. Eat the spider. Shit, too many lizards.
Yeah.
Get a bird. Shit.
And at this time, so
That's how
the
you get a
Necrons
house
are like,
full of kangaroos.
hey, I need a more powerful weapon to defeat the old ones. And the Satan are like, okay, fine. And then they keep on doing this, like, hey, I think the old ones are as powerful as the Satan. Can I have a weapon that can defeat one of those? Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And the Satan as well at this point, because there's a finite number of souls left in the galaxy. What with the enslavers eating them all and them eating them all, they've started to eat each other.
The
And it's
enslavers?
just, no, the Satan.
Oh, okay.
The Satan have started eating each other. It's like a big old cannibal holocaust going on
Wow.
right now. So there's very few Satan left, but the ones that are left are uber powerful, and the old ones are beaten into submission, and they're kind of on their last legs. And it's at this point that the Necrons are like, "Fuck you guys," and they turn these weapons onto the Satan.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, this is the War of Secession, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they've given all these guns by Satan. They shoot the Satan with these guns, but it's not enough to kill them. There's only been one Satan that's been murdered in lore,
Oh.
and that was from a Forge World book, and we all know how OP Forge World is.
Right.
And that's the Satan from the flayed ones, and kind of how that works.
Oh.
But the rest of
Ooh,
them,
I
and
never read
that's
that one.
apparently when they killed that Satan, that's what caused the flayed one virus, or the flare virus, to spread.
Oh.
But they essentially blew the Satan up into tiny little baby shards. And these shards were then captured and hidden in Tesseract vaults, or
Okay.
Tesseract labyrinths, I believe,
Yep.
and held in stasis. So it's like a belt and suspenders level of protection.
Oh, clever
Yeah.
Necrontyr.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the Necrontyr are like, yes, okay, good. We took care of the Satan.
We could do this.
Completely forgetting about the fact they're still being fucked over by the Eldar.
It's
And now that they don't have Satan backup, you're like, shit. But what they do have is like an innumerable amount of patience. So like, we're just going to go to sleep for 60 million years. Wait out the Eldar, and then wait for all of the Eldar to die, and then when they wake up, everyone else would be dead, and they would be de facto rulers of the galaxy.
perfect.
You know, in the world of Warhammer 40k, not the worst plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the heresy,
I mean, it's,
Chaos's plan was to have one of the Emperor's sons elected War Master, to have him get stabbed by a poisoned knife.
sorry, Chaos's plan. It sounds. I believe that was more Malkador and the Emperor's plan.
Sure, sure. But the plan was to, have your son lead, get him stabbed by a tainted knife, have him looked after in this heretical coven, have him have this vision, like very convoluted plan.
Makes sense to me.
Convoluted plans everywhere. This one is, I'm just going to go to sleep and wait for you to die. It's almost like the hot topic of plans. It's very passive aggressive. But yeah, and then...
Great. There goes my chance of getting us a sponsorship with Hot Topic for Sigmar and Chill, you son of a bitch.
I mean, we can just say it as and send cease and desists.
All right, that's cool.
Just do it enough and then send them a bill.
Yeah. By the way. So they went to sleep 60 million years, and then they just started waking up randomly. So I think something went wrong, but like literally millions of Necrons died in this sleep because planets shift over 60 million years. So tectonic plates move and they crush the tombs.
I think that like they were saying that so a couple things were happening. I think like one is like we had multiple planets and like each one was like full of just like shit tons of Necrontyr. So you had billions of like untold billions worth of Necron to choose from. And I think like also one of the things they were talking about, and this is kind of goes into the game a little bit, is that like when a Necron, and this is actually why I thought of Stormcast when I was like, oh crap, was that when a Necron dies, not only do you have to worry about like rolling a d6 and getting your Necron back, but even if that doesn't work out, like they teleport back to their tomb world or whatever, and then they're reconstructed there.
Yeah, so the memory is downloaded again, right?
They never die, like their essence is there, but I guess they lose part of their personality. They slowly become more dull over time. So that's like, oh crap, that's
I didn't even think of that.
Turtles,
like Stormcast.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, it's an even better analogy
the thing
next
is
Friday.
if you just, if you
when you tune in.
yeah, exactly.
You're gonna like cut this part out and add it to the video. But so I guess like that's kind of like the crazy thing about like that plan of like waiting out the Eldar is like the long con, and like they can keep waiting.
I'd be okay with Necrons going back to sleep. Actually,
really,
Yeah,
you're not a fan of the Necrons?
no, I love the Necrons. I love the Necrons from if I was playing them, but if I'm playing against them, I'm not a fan of them.
Yeah. But like I said, that's kind of like their brief history. But like honestly, like it's one of like the more intricate army. Like it's like a constant tale of them fucking themselves over again and again and again and again.
So it was originally just a Rogue Trader article that spawned this whole thing. They dumped these models out, that had the 2 units and whatnot.
It was second
article.
edition. It was second edition. However, before that, what were they? It was like Space Crusade or whatever, and they were the Cyber Raiders or something like that. But they weren't Necron.
But I mean,
they were.
they had to come up with this, kind of out of the blue, because people loved the models from Space Crusade and wanted to use them because most of the models in Space Crusade you could use in 40k except for those. So they ended up giving them, rules for them, and then it blossomed into this whole rich history of everything that they've done. It's it just they could have easily been nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just the way that GW does stuff sometimes is just kind of baffles me.
Well, the original army was like 2003, I think. No, it was before
no, it was
then.
before that. It was in the 90s.
Yeah,
it was 99, and that was when it was just Scarabs and Warriors.
Scarabs were, yeah. Oh, that's right, because I think like there was a White Dwarf article, because it was the tail end of second, and there's a White Dwarf article in third. Scarabs Overlord was third edition. Yeah. There was the lawn chair. The deck chair, yeah.
Yeah, so the third edition one from 2003 was Lords, Immortals, Warriors, Scarabs, Destroyers.
Yeah.
And that was it.
There was before that you had just the metal warrior that came on the White Dwarf pack that one day.
I remember that guy.
And then they did come up
You know
with
how
like
excited
a box.
I was as a 13-year-old kid or however old I was?
I thought you were about to say a 13-year-old
To just
girl.
paint green on a gun and be like,
Oh,
"Good,
really?
done."
Nice.
Lazy back then.
I know people that were so excited.
That was a
when they
decent
came out
looking
with,
model for this.
So good.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad.
All things
Looking at
considered.
it now, it looks like shit. But
Well,
yeah, but I mean, you're right. It wasn't bad at all. But you know, you got this thing, and there was like a little in the article. There was like a special
Designed by Dave Andrews, the first Necrons.
of the Legion of Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were way more Terminator.
yeah,
The scarabs were way
Yeah.
more like flies.
more chunky.
Yep.
But I remember at a picture.
That's what they. That was it. Those 2 units, but they
Yeah.
were for like a special one-off type mission where you.
They
you
were
know,
OP as fuck. My
They
buddy,
were
my
so
buddy had an entire army in second edition of that, and I had Dark
Oh,
Angels. and that
was
army
he a
just
millionaire?
wasted me.
Oh wow.
Because that was all metal and not readily available.
Because that was like, I think back in the day, like it was one scarab per unit, right? Like I think like the scarabs like went and like blew up vehicles.
thought
Like,
it
so
was-
they were a little bit different. You didn't have like a swarm of them.
So they were like the tarantula tank or whatever it is now from Forge World. Whatever that little tank is
Oh yeah, whatever that is.
blows up and does D6 damage or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, right. So what else do we have on them?
Well, right now they're organized into dynasties or dynasties,
Dynasty.
which is essentially just kind of different Egyptian-sounding cults. I mean, like I said,
So chapters.
they're chapters. They're essentially like Space Marine chapters. But
I do like the way that they took and went with a Egyptian theme when they fully fleshed them out from being that we're just undead Terminator models.
who was it that fleshed them out there? Was that the evil
Matt Ward.
Matt Ward, or was that?
I honestly don't remember because it was during that black period where I didn't do any 40K
Yeah,
type
so
stuff.
I think it kind of went in waves. Like, you had this very two-dimensional army at one point, and they like 2.5 dimensions or whatever. Like, because I think like they started to get a little bit more lore. Like, yeah, when they first came out with the codex, and like each codex they started adding to it. I think it seemed like it was that last one, like where he just like flipped it on him. And just, like,
and a
made
lot of people were
crazy
like, "What do you mean? Oh, they're
lords.
just space Egyptians." And I
Yeah.
was like, "But I would rather have that and like have a fully fleshed out army than this mysterious force mysteriously appears, then
Oh, yeah.
mysteriously disappears."
I think it was like when they added like the crazy, like the overlords and stuff. And like you had the really eccentric overlords versus
The
just
destroyer
like
lords as well, and
yeah. I mean, I think it was like the named characters and like a lot of it, like the one guy with like the one eye and like was it Emotech and like a lot. So I think for a while they didn't really have any other than the Satan. I don't remember them having characters in 3rd edition.
and then kind of like they kind of retconned the Satan a little bit.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you didn't have literal star gods in the table; it was just little bits of star gods. that
Oh,
looked
yeah,
like
the
full
shards.
Star gods.
Yeah, and all Eldar on them.
You got Trazon. Trazon, literally my favorite Necron character,
Yeah,
just from the Gathering Storm stuff he was
Yeah.
in, where he was like a walking Deus Ex Machina,
No.
or just like walking around with Pokeballs full of
Yeah.
stuff. We're like, oh, the Imperium's falling on this world, and is like Ultramarines company, Heresy era stuff.
Oh,
like
wow. So
Inquisitor Greyfax.
going through time, pulling stuff out.
Yeah, no, because he has his vault. So the thing with Trazon,
Mm-hmm.
he's a collector, and he collects things in Stasis Field, like Greyfax, the Inquisitor, the Inquisitor that came out during
Oh
Gathering Storm.
yeah.
She was held in stasis in his vault. He had an entire company of Heresy era Ultramarines
Yeah.
Oh,
in
wow.
his vault. He has Creed currently in his vault.
Wow, I wonder if that's where the two missing chapters are, or legions.
Maybe.
They're in his butt.
Yeah.
They're in
Yeah,
Dave's
in his vault.
box.
So like he has all the stuff, and he has
What's in
literal
Dave's box?
Pokeballs. He has literal Pokeballs that he throws out.
Oh wow.
All right. So
Did they come with a model for him?
Yeah, he has
Oh,
a model.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's really, really sweet looking.
Necron's first rules for Necrons were first published in White Dwarf issue 216
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of 2nd edition. It was like a small thing to try to revive it, and they were then appeared in the
There's a White Dwarf after that.
White Dwarf after that with the Massacre at Sanctuary 101, a battle between Necrons and Sisters of Battle, and then the Free Necron Warrior came with 217. And
So it was
then-
over 3 issues, and I remember they made a huge fucking deal about it as well. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, it's 2 models.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if they drop 2 of your models, it'd be like, okay.
Could you imagine now, like 3 white dwarfs being dedicated to an army range? of 2 models.
Other than the Imperial Knights. Like,
Yeah. Other than that,
Like nerds.
Oh, that's funny. Like we're definitely in a different era where we're in the land of abundance.
right?
I played against Necrons a bunch on the table.
In second edition?
Yeah, well, in all
That's what you should be
editions.
taking, by the way, Ted, for second edition. Not orcs, Necrons.
in
Because
all
they were
editions.
OP as
Two
fuck
models.
in second edition.
Oh yeah.
In all editions, to be honest, and like I said, it feels like again as it progresses, and obviously as the range progresses, the armies are looking better. They're more varied, and yeah, we had like the 6th, 7th edition thing where we had like nothing but Caneptic wraiths all over the place, kind of spookily flying about with their invulnerable saves.
Those guys.
But there's like I said, the model range is superb on those guys, and like we have
They are really nice.
we have the thing where like a new codex coming out. Every release comes with a new model and everything.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people complain like we'll probably only get that one new guy. Like you have a beautiful range.
I mean, their regular warriors are okay. They're kind of a joy to paint because they're so simple and easy.
Yeah. Well, the immortals are fantastic looking. The wraiths are beautiful and very intricate.
The wraiths are really good. The Triptych Stalker or whatever, the legged thing is
the spider crab thingy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
spider crab
Oh,
thing's kind of bullshit.
I love that like
Uh,
50s like
amazing
sci-fi
because it looks like
kind of thing.
like a Mars attacks
Yeah.
on my tabletop.
I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it, but their sculpts for their
Not a fan
Necron
of you.
lords so far. Well, I know that, but the sculpts for their lords so far don't do anything for me, as opposed to the changes that they've actually made with the plastics for the immortals and the regular Necron lords and the ghost marks, death marks. The death marks are
death
kind of
marks.
Goofy as shit, and I love them.
They're amazing.
I love that
rules.
they have like one eye. You know?
One eye and these giant ass laser rifle guns.
weird ass sniper guns, and they just kind of appear out of nowhere.
Like everyone's got these like futuristic guns that shoot gauze out of hit vehicles and all that stuff. These guys are like big ass sniper rifles and a single eye.
Yep.
Like, I'd
So
be more
awesome.
happy if like they had their heads floating up in front like servo skulls, kind of picking out shots.
I would just love to have that somebody model one with like the tubes running out from the eye down, moving the eye down to the to a scope that's put on the gun, so it's actually attached. Because the
It's like a little
immortals are-
prehensile eye.
Yeah, like the immortals are attached by their butt cable to their guns.
Oh yeah.
Let's, do something like that with the death marks,
Yeah.
so that they're just looks more snipery.
The butt cable is bad. That
s-
cracks me up.
That's what it is.
That's the one part I'm like, okay.
The death marks also have the butt orbs. Which make no sense.
yeah, that's
It's
right.
like they were like, we got to put something here.
Teleporting butt orbs.
They're definitely not at their most powerful right now, but Codex coming right around the corner. Like right now, I'm only really
3
seeing
months
like
away.
warrior spam, pretty much, or kind of again weight of
Yeah,
fire with
because
them.
because the new reanimation protocol rules are actually better than
Are they? What'd they do differently with this round?
It's continuous until the
Oh.
unit is completely wiped out, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you lose 4
That's
models
gross.
in turn 1 and you get 2 back, and you lose no models in turn 2, you can still get 2 more back, as opposed to in previous editions.
And
if
they're going to have a
didn't get them
stratagem
back-
where you just get back D6 models or something like that. Like,
Or maybe you'll
Probably.
have graveyard markers.
okay.
Or sorry, tomb markers, canoptic markers.
Canoptic markers. The new Necron Lord model, or whatever they're calling it.
Oh,
that
the
comes
dude
in
who's
the
surfing on
forge.
top of a bunch of scarabs
That's
that are
hot.
attached to his spine. Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's surfing on the one. I think it's like he's riding kind of like the wraith.
oh no,
things.
it's attached to his spine.
No, I know it is.
Yeah,
but
it's
It
amazing.
looks like he's. I need you to model a wave behind him.
Yeah.
He's just like-
So are you going to
he's in a
steal your
half pipe.
wife's Necron and
So I do literally have an entire Necron army unassembled in this house because my wife was like, "I want to play games with you." Yeah, but if I don't make her do stuff,
yeah.
then she doesn't do it, which is fair.
Sure.
But with 40K, like I was starting to feel like, "Come on, you gotta do it. Come on, you gotta do it." I was starting to feel really bad, so I stopped.
Oh, okay.
I've had
because
much
it's
more.
not fun when somebody forces you to do it.
Well, as long as you have a
Whatever,
safe
that
word,
Says you.
that's the important thing there.
It's a potassium.
Potassium.
When are you gonna paint your Necrons? Potassium.
Okay, touchy.
Fine.
Well, like I said, I have been tempted a few times to pull them out, but like I said, I think I'll still because the models still look great.
Yeah.
The immortals, like I said, they're amazing. The little goofy ass bikes that look like like
Oh yeah.
The like the skimmers that are like big C's where they're wired into the seat.
It's like Darth Maul's skimmer.
Oh yeah, Darth Maul's speeder. There's a lot of great stuff in there, and like honestly, I love all of the Forge World stuff where they take like it's like one of the Forge World designers was painting his Necron army, got super high and watched the Scorpion King with the Rock, and it was like, I should make that metal. Because all the Forge World stuff, like the Tomb Stalker and the Tomb Sentinel and the Anctorites?
Oh.
I know, but they're all bugs. They're all
okay.
giant metal bugs. And I'm like, those look amazing.
Yeah.
There's some great looking conversions going around online of the Kinetic Wraiths as scorpions, where they lie them on the ground and turn the tails and flip them up into the air.
Cool.
It's a really simple conversion, which makes them look amazing. Like I said, it's a really good looking army.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
And easy to paint.
Yeah. Oh, 3-color minimum. Fuck you. My
Oh,
army's
man.
only 1 color.
Put the extra color on the base. Done.
Jeez. Yeah, I had to go and make mine more difficult. Like, I'm gonna make them like rotting, and
You're gonna add
I
that
did
other
this-
dynasty that's like blue and
you've seen-
white quartered schemes.
You've seen mine, right? The ones I did for Shadow Wars Armageddon that were all the rusted up and done up with actual weathering pigments. And
send me a
shit like
picture
that.
later. I don't remember that.
Tabletop
I'm not gonna
Plus.
do that.
If it's weathering pigment, you're way above Tabletop Plus.
Yeah,
This was
your
be-
masterclass.
This was before. This was Necron, so I was dry brushing.
Oh, okay.
Silver first onto it. Dry brushing, of course, is not a crime, as we know. Just so you
No,
know,
it's a way of life.
Hashtag dry brushing.
in
not a
some
crime.
societies.
Nope, in every society.
Yeah, in every society. It's good to go.
Yeah.
all
But yeah,
good.
no, and I rusted them up and made it look like, because I had them coming out of the ground of Armageddon because they were first, so buried under this aggro or industrial world
Yeah.
with rotting waste and
It's a
shit.
really
so,
angry world, a little aggro world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
aggro world.
Ulanor is not a Necron homeworld.
Oh. Sad face.
Any place is a Necron homeworld if you dig deep enough.
It's probably
No.
true.
Forge your own narrative, John.
No, that's not right.
These are the
Necrons
abandoned
are very
Necron tier.
black and white.
These are Necrontyr.
Yeah.
They're the people of Armageddon are Necrontyr.
Just,
Yeah.
just go back to bed. They'll
There
be
it
dead
is.
when you get
Yeah,
back
it's
up.
fine.
There's been permanent wars there so long, no one actually survives past 30 anyway, so they don't know it's just the cancer rates.
Boom, Necrontyr.
Boom. It's dead.
Boom, Eldar.
So that's the Underhive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, what were we
that's
talking about?
Necrons for me. Like I said, I mean, there's like a ton of stuff about their dynasties and stuff, all the different kind of house organizations and everything. But to me, like the number one amazing thing about them is how they came to be, and like they've been preloaded with the universe's most tragic backstory
Yeah.
of being born on a shitty backwater planet and trying to improve themselves, but kicking themselves in the balls every step of the way.
Kind of sounds like just about almost every 40K backstory.
But no,
at
this one
point.
is like our sun is killing us. Let's go out to the stars. Oh, that doesn't work. We should do stasis. Oh, I can't
Yeah.
send it back. Oh, hey, can you help us? No. Oh, can you help us? Yeah, but I'm gonna fuck you. I don't want to be fucked. You're gonna be fucked anyway.
Potassium.
Yeah, all potassium and no listening, man. Satan don't have ears, yo. But like this, just the backstory is just amazing to me. And like I said, it's there because of the Necrons. We have Eldar, and we have orcs, and we have
Enslavers.
Well, I wish we had enslavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, kick-ass army.
Dude, I'd be playing Enslavers like a motherfucker.
But this is like the first time we see like the old ones using the first. I think the first recorded time we see of people using the warp to try and fix a problem, then realizing that oh shit, that just causes more problems.
Yeah.
There's even like
A reoccurring theme.
there's even like I read the old ones made Tyranids to deal with the Necrons in a way that when you
that
have
doesn't make any sense.
well they say you have a raging fire. How do you stop a fire from spreading?
Well, you burn the
You-
stuff in front of it.
Douse around the fire in water so it can't spread any further. So if you have the Necrons and the Star Gods who are coming and eating all of the life on a planet and then moving on to the next planet, if that planet's already dead,
Yeah.
well, they're not going to go that way. So it's kind of controlled burn or a controlled move of the fire. But that's not being confirmed anywhere. All they know that is in that Pharos heresy book.
What are you looking at me for? John is the master bullshitter. He's pulling this out of his ass right now.
No, like
I gotta let him have it. It's just I'm like, you know what? It sounds legit.
There's like
except for the whole water thing because they don't douse with water. They do it.
It's a controlled backfire.
Yeah, I was like,
well, whatever it is, but like that.
So
like,
we're digging it. So the old gods dug a moat with the tears. So then in this scenario, the
tears
Tyranids are a moat.
tears of the Necron.
It's a moat.
It's a moat.
The Tyranids are a moat. Got it. Okay. You should come up with analogies from now on, Ted, because Stormcast was on point.
Oh, that was on point. That was like super good.
Nids as a moat, not so good.
Beating that.
Not so good.
But they will say like
so lost. So
like
anyway, this has been the world of Necromunda and the Underhive. Thanks for joining us.
well, I was gonna say real quick, just out of the Pharos Horus Heresy book, they activated like ancient Eldar / Old One technology to send out this signal to get reinforcements, and that's what drew Tyranids to the galaxy. Was this ancient Old One beacon? So that's the thought.
Yeah, but why would the old ones want to call the Tyranids knowing that they?
Why would the old ones create a psychic race that caused everyone it touched to turn into them and destroy all of their creations?
Desperation.
Desperation.
That's
desperate times.
When it come down to it, it was desperation. Like they were getting their asses handed to them by the Satan.
Desperation for men.
By old ones. Large trucks.
By old ones.
Yeah, that's
trademark mob rules.
Copyright 2018. Stop looking at the camera. You are not Jimmy. No, you're not Jimmy Fallon. But no, that's
I'm not.
No. Ted, anything else you want to add there?
Oh man, it's no, that's it.
You're like, no, it's late. Yeah. Dave, anything you want?
No, it's good. I really like the Necrons, and when I came back to 40K, that was one of the most seriously I looked at doing. But the Get Started box set that the Spider Walker turned me off, and
you were like, Space Marines are really popular. I should do that.
I was like, nobody plays Space Marines. I should do those.
Only over
Dave
half the
just
people.
Googled like super powerful army lists, and he saw nothing but Space Marines. He was like, Space Marines. Yes.
Yeah, right at the tail end of 7th. That's when I Googled it, and it came in. Super powerful army list. Everybody's like, Space Marines are winning everything. They're the most overpowered stuff.
I want to start what's this other this chapter called the Tau? I want to start a Tau Space Marine chapter. They're not spitting. Never mind. Go ahead and sell them the product.
All right. So yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come right back.
Bye.
Bye.
Again.
Cowabunga, dude. Shredding these sweet waves with my board is super rad. But babes can't stand a thirsty bro, brah. That's why I drink generic soda, now with electrolytes. Chicks dig it. Generic soda causes heart disease, lung disease, pancreatic cancer, Alzheimer's, erectile dysfunction, and is the leading cause of thirst. Generic soda may dissolve solid surfaces if contact persists longer than 3 seconds. The Food and Drug Administration does not recognize generic soda as edible. Do not dispose of generic soda down drains or near animals.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Whoa.
Damn,
Oh, man,
catch
that's
you,
good
but-
times. Well, that's been...
It's hard to do when you lean forward to press
I
the button.
know. It was a lot easier last time.
Mob Rule 71. You're going to have to learn to use your toes to hit buttons.
Bloop. My pencil too.
Please don't hit the buttons now. We don't want to have to wait again.
Yeah.
What do we have coming up, guys? So this releases Friday something.
So I think like the next
9th?
time you hear from let's see, I think I'll be in Adepticon before the next one. I think this is the first one, or the last one before. Yeah, I think the next one drops when I'm in Adepticon. So,
Yeah, it should be. Will you have time to record beforehand?
Yeah.
Are you going to be painting during the recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll bring you.
It's visually appealing. It works.
Yeah.
So next Mob Rule is going to be in 2 weeks here. I'm sure it'll be lots of fun Adepticon prep.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even talk about going to conventions.
What? What are you talking about?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
I go to conventions.
Well, no, but for people who don't go or are
I
thinking
gotcha.
about
like
going.
a general, like concept.
We'll just have a rant about conventions.
Oh, okay.
A rap.
I
Not a
gotcha.
rant.
A rant.
Gotcha.
Yo,
We're gonna rant about
dig it.
conventions.
Yeah,
They're-
for a second
they're
there, I thought
terrible.
you were like,
Don't
I was
do
going
that.
to get excited that you guys were going to come to Adepticon with me.
I
Like,
can't. I just spent all my money on wrestling.
Dude, you already
Next
know that.
year.
You know that I'm planning on it next year. Don't tell Jess
oh,
because I'm.
or John.
Yeah.
No, and you
Yeah,
can
don't
tell
tell John.
No,
No,
don't
tell
tell
John.
me.
He's got to go to Scotland next year. He's going to go to Scotland.
He could do two. He
Yeah,
could do,
maybe.
Yeah, Scotland.
We'll see.
Adepticon.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, 2 weeks from today, new Mob Rules. We'll probably
Yeah.
talk conventions.
Right.
And we'll get ahead of the Adepticon coverage by covering
Yes.
it before it happens.
Right.
Yikes. With our tune in live for our predictions of
No,
what is
no,
going to
no,
happen.
It's
no,
already
no,
happening.
It's already happening. Dave, 3 days from now on release day when everyone listens, check out your
3 days from release day.
Tabletop
Plus?
Basics?
Oh, close. Tabletop Basics is an actual, useful tutorial video. Mine's more common.
I don't know why I forgot it right there, but yeah, Tabletop Basics.
Tabletop Plus.
Oh.
No,
Plus?
check out
Plus?
Basics first.
Oh, yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, it's much better.
But don't subscribe to them. Stay subscribed to us.
So check out Tabletop Basics this Monday, and then the following Monday, Ted,
Yeah.
we'll have something.
Oh, yeah. So we'll do
Beautiful.
that thing. All right.
It'll be the good stuff.
Yeah, it'll
AIDS?
be the good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna work on Eisenhorn, right?
How to paint
shit.
a Necron.
Yeah. We'll do something. Yeah, so I think like last year I did like a couple little Dear Diaries from Adepticon. I'm kind of curious. Like, I mean, a couple of them did pretty well. I think the swag bag one. I'm really excited. I'm getting like the VIP badge bag this year. 'Cause
Didn't you get that last year?
No, I got the premiere one because I was like, oh, the
So
one
you're
before
a
that
step
sucked.
above.
So there was like premiere and there was like VIP is there's three like
So what's the top tier? 'Cause
VIP.
VIP.
And
top
like
tier.
last year,
Oh,
so the
shit.
top tier. So like last year, like I got the top tier the first year I went, and it was like meh. And then, so like I'm not gonna get it the next year. And then they gave you like an art case and like a bunch of other stuff. It was
Oh,
like
shit.
amazing. Like the art case alone like was the price of the badge bag, or the VIP.
Dibs
bag.
on your hard case this year.
Okay.
I need it to take shit across the water.
So now I'm like really predicting like we're gonna get some good stuff. And
I really hope you're not disappointed.
yeah, me too. I didn't realize like when I talked to Alaska Airlines, they were like, "Oh yeah, you get 4 checked bags." Like,
Oh yeah, you got a
Oh yeah,
ton.
with
4?
with Alaska
thought it
Airlines.
was
Hell
2.
yeah.
Never check your army.
Oh really?
Nope.
Never check your
Oh.
army.
I did last year.
Do check your privilege.
Yeah,
but
but not your army.
okay.
Well, that's a good place to say.
Yeah. So anyway, like I know we have another podcast before then. So
Yeah,
but
you got to save
hopefully
that good stuff. Those
Yeah.
good hits.
But I want to know like if those Dear Diaries from Adepticon were useful for you or not because I
Yeah.
won't have chance to really look at the responses by that.
You absolutely
next time.
should. What you should do is just do YouTube Live
Mm.
and just use your phone
Oh yeah.
and just do little live videos of the convention floor.
That'd be dope.
I
And I'm thinking about bringing a Steve or Jeff the Custode shirt to give to Duncan.
Just
and then
so
like
you
I'm
can
gonna
keep giving him shirts every year.
Yeah, with a sticky note with like, "Where's my 2017 prize?"
Oh man.
Oh,
So,
right. Maybe like a copy of the tweet, like the Twitter message, where he's like, "I'll give you stuff."
nice. Way to strong
Passive
arm.
aggressive.
Way to strong arm. Who is arguably known as like one of the nicest people
Yeah.
on the face of the planet.
That's the way to get things is by being a dick to literally the nicest person that they publicly show.
My 2 thin coats out of your hide.
He's a really cool guy.
He sends you 2 thin prizes.
Uh,
All right,
So-
sweet. For Mob Rules, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Maybe.
Yep.
No, we will.
Yeah, we will.
Plus,
I'm sorry.
Plus? Basic.
have a good night, guys.
Bye.
This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation at facebook.com/MobRulesAK. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.